Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Garena Survivors. Today is the first day of semi-finals 2, which means the second half of the 32 teams that you have witnessed so far go into battle. We'll be doing battle over the next 3 days. My name's AJ, I'm the Mustachio, down here with the one and only Neptune the Gentleman Garcia to bring you guys all of the action.
I'm very excited to see how will this next group of teams be able to show up in this game, because so far a lot has been seen already from Group A, wherein Four Kings has already led that set of teams, and for the others who were able to catch up on the top 8 was really an astonishing story. Now, a new chapter unfolds right now for the Battle Royale scene, and as we call it, the Garena Survivors. We have yet to see what else are they going to add onto the heroes of this game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And, you know, who will be able to rise up on day number 1? That's not most definitely going to be the team that rises up on day number 2. From what we have seen from semifinals 1 already, there were a couple of teams that did not perform on the first day at all, but they were in the competition for one main reason: to do all of their research, to complete all of their checks and assessments on the other teams in terms of engagements, in terms of rotations into the circle, as well as, most importantly, their initial drop zones, so that they can make sure they rise up to the top on day number 2 and 3. And that is none other than the players from ABC Mystic, the representatives of MYSG, as well as Amateurs Esports, who really couldn't find much on day number 1 at all. But on day 2 and 3, Neptune, they were the teams that were picking up the most number of points in the competition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for the semifinals, we've seen the highest kills from a Metaverse, and that is 31 kills, beating the 28 coming from the Four Kings. But they got 28 twice. So that is, I would say, still on a plus on the Four Kings. But still, with the damage that they can do in this game, as well as the performance that they've done, moving from a lower part, or actually in the middle part, up into the top, the Metaverse really are on their way to prove themselves that it's not a fluke that they are here. They are here to fight it. They're here to win it.
Absolutely, man. And of course, every single team out there, they want to be the most dominant within these lobbies, but they will only be able to show that through consistent performance. I mean, you can go out there with one truly breakout run, but if you cannot achieve that sort of a performance round after round with consistency, then overall, the more consistent teams should be able to take over, just like what we've seen through our semifinals 1. But of course, let's carry on with the conversation here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The format of the competition first off, just so that you guys can get a breakdown as to how we are doing things here. We've got 32 teams in the semifinals, and we have divided the 32 teams into semifinals 1 and semifinals 2. The 16 teams in semifinal 1 have done battle, and we know who are the top 8 that has moved on to the finals. Semifinals 2 now will commence, and the second half of the 32 teams, 16 teams, they'll take on each other 3 days back to back. Each and every single day, we have got 6 rounds in there. From what you can see, day 1, 2, and 3, where we will play both isolated as well as blackout on both the perspectives, TPP as well as FPP.
And I'd like to see how well will they be able to adapt into the FPP mode, because we've seen so far on Group 1 that they adjusted their tactics in there, put it a little bit slow on the FPP mode. And how will this affect those who have already gotten used to, wherein I think that's most of the teams right here, on the TPP mode, and how will that change their perspective when it comes to the battlefield? Will they be going in for the team versus team, pulling out from any third party, or will it be a different story this time?
Absolutely, man. And of course, all of the players and the teams are trying to create their stories in the best way possible towards the top of the leaderboard. But what we will witness here on day number 1 could very well end up in true dominance from a couple of teams. And of course, we are looking at Vagabonds Esports, but we are also looking at NRX 420. There has been a little bit of a rivalry fueling in the background, and that might just be that fire that is needed to shoot the kings of all right back up to the top again, because this semifinals 2, the next 3 days will be a day where NRX 420 have got a lot to do to prove that they are still one of those who can hit hard in the competition, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and they need to hit hard that much, because we want to see the Kings of All to regain their title, to get their title back. But it still depends on the performance of the team,
Yeah.
and we'll have to find out if they'll be able to dominate, especially as they are included in the mix with the current kings, as well as a lot of teams who have shown great progress all throughout the months wherein we haven't seen a tournament just like this. But going in onto the prize pool, this is the bag that all of these teams are aiming for. This is a total of a 200. This is a total of 25,000 US dollars right now. And coming in from the bottom, those coming in on 13th and 16th will be taking home a small amount, that is 250, but still it will help for the team to be able to move and increase their capability to jump in on other tournaments. Moving up, 9 to 12 will be 500, double to what we've seen earlier, and triple to that would be the 5 to 8. That will be 750 US dollars, AJ.
Absolutely, man. And of course, all of the players from then on who pick up the prize pool from the first to third will be able to enjoy the biggest portion of the spoils, but the lion's share for those that pick up that number one spot, 10,000 US dollars. That's close to 40,000 ringgit. And like you said, Neptune, close to 500,000 pesos for the winners. It is crazy, man, the amount of money that is in competition now for the Battle Royale scene. So if any of those players had decided to take a short little break from the pro scene in Battle Royale and focus on other forms of income, now would be a great time to focus right back on those serious plays and to jump back into serious games out there on the battlefield, because Garena themselves are getting super serious with the esports ecosystem this time round. Q2 has definitely been amazing, and I cannot wait to see exactly what Garena has in store for us for Q3, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot in here that will change or actually bring back the fire of those who've lost it on the Battle Royale. And this is about the time. This is about time where in the Battle Royale scene, we'll be able to see the light of day once again with tournaments after tournaments that we are going to feature all these scenes. But how are they going to be featured is to get all those points. We have the placement points right now being shown on your screen, and due to the number of teams that we have right now, it has drastically changed as we got the winner right here getting 10 points, and then less 4 going in for the second place, and going down to the 7 and 8 will be left with only 1 point. Now for those ending in on 9 to 16 will get silch 0-0 on the points right there, so they need to take it up onto the kills, wherein 1 kill is equivalent to 1 point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, all of those kills prove to be more than enough for the 4 Kings to continue to remain your number one in the overall semifinals. One where they did not really show up when it came to the placement points, and they definitely struggled a little bit on isolated with their approaches. But even then, it was the kill points that helped them sustain that number one spot, which just shows exactly how important that is. But towards the end of the competition, we did see some of the teams scurry to make sure they get those placement points. And we did make the comment where, maybe it's just a little bit too late. And it was a little bit too late for some of those teams who could not qualify, because we are taking only the top 8 out of the 16. And if at all they had played for those placement points a little bit better, a little bit sooner, then perhaps their fates would have been a little different. And this is where it is so important to understand what your strengths as well as weaknesses are. Teams that are not really great on the battle in terms of gunfight should really focus on survivability to get into that final circle before they start getting a little trigger happy. And we've seen exactly how that has worked out for some teams who did manage to scrape on through, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And the mid to late game would be crucial for the teams who couldn't go in on the first engagement, the initial engagement. But talking about the engagement, these are the teams who are participating on the engagement that will be happening for the semifinals too. Starting it off with the current kings of Battle Royale, we have Backbonds Esports together with their brothers. They are the Backbonds Nomads. And looking at these teams, AJ, it doesn't identify them apart, because looking at the scores as well as the performance, it's quite similar as well as quite near when it comes to those data that we have collected.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, each and every single one of these teams out there, we are so excited to watch, especially Shout out to Almighty Prime, the newest acquisition for the Almighty brand. And Prime used to be TNC in the past, ladies, German boys and girls. TNC Prime, and they most definitely are in the best shape of their lives right now throughout their whole presence within the Call of Duty mobile scene. And hopefully the new acquisition under Almighty can fuel them and support them to strike a little bit harder out there on the battlefield. But of course, a lot of big names out here that we cannot wait to see in action in a little bit. And the fact of the matter is, Neptune, we have 16 teams to focus on within one group instead of 25. And, just like what we have discussed for semifinals one as well, that really opens up the map, especially when you get to Blackout. There are many of those, spots that are not contested in the early parts of the game. The teams that realize the difficulty of finding kills on day number 1 or perhaps even match 1 or 2 should truly start focusing on. So once again, it has to be a day of research in day number 1. But for your usual aggressors of the competition, it's just going to be a game of drive-bys, bang, bang, win another lobby, move on to the next.
Yeah, definitely. And we love to see those early engagement to see how that will end and how will that provide us with more information as to the drop points that will be taken by this team. Speaking of drop points, here is the flight path right now coming in from Nuketown all the way to Sakura. And for those aiming to get up north, they will be flying a little bit longer, but hopefully they'll be able to find their spot within this map. And as we look at it, we have Team C, which is NRX 420, taking their home to the downtown. And I don't think anyone will be contesting them compared to what we're seeing from the rest of the team who are clumped up to each other.
Absolutely, man. And downtown's definitely a great spot to hop on into. Not very risky as well. So the position that NRX 420 are taking very early in the matchup is clearly a safe one. But as you can see, Vagabonds Esports with a quick strike have managed to pick up a chopper for themselves and are moving straight out of the vicinity where anybody else can reach. That is Ski Town. But as they think that's a great idea, Almighty is doing the exact same thing and will be landing towards their right-hand side. Vagabonds Esports, ladies, German boys and girls, it is going to be Nash, Yato, Kevsub, as well as Blue. And they are the ones who are the favorites to win out all of these lobbies. But let's see if or not they can get that executed out there on the battlefield. It's going to be Kalibe as he hops on through. Panot drops James. Amazing play so far, but SDPH, as they take on the players of a Team F, the one and only Cerulean Legion, they find that it is quite a tough fight to take when it's so early in the matchup. But great positioning coming through from Bree just to avoid all of those engagements, waiting for the players of Cerulean to hop on in front. Panot gets the strike, flapping down into the ground. Kalibe with the backstab as well. Sabe gets taken out of the equation, and SDPH rage on from the early moments.
SDPH right now eliminating the first team in this game, and this is a black market that they chose to drop by. So we'll have to see if they will be contested going into the next game in on Isolated. But again, as what we keep talking to AJ, this is a day where teams need to get their position and study hard. But unfortunate for those going against this team, Cerulean, they will be waiting a few more minutes to be able to get back against SDPH if they plan to go in and jump back to black market. But speaking of jumping, here comes another jump that we've seen. Tigra Poseidon was able to get 2 kills already. They jump into battle early in here and taking down Team N. This is the Royal Kings that they went against, and I think one of the members of the Royal Kings will still be left behind in there, able to get those dog tags with 13 seconds on the clock.
See if or not they will be able to find a good compound for themselves as the team of Tigra Poseidon continuously moves on foot, looking for yet another place where they can continue looting up. As you can see, even Tasan doesn't even have all of those mods that he requires on his guns. And that's going to be one of the things that you want to focus on in the current meta for sure. Getting those golden mods and making sure your gunfight as well as your firepower is uncontested out there on the battlefield, Neptune.
Yeah, and we're looking right now as KPH. This is Kicks PH, and looking at how they went in the qualifiers. This is a team that I would say they are fairly new. We don't have that much data just yet, apart from how they perform in the qualifiers. But it ties up to how it is with the Royal Kings as well as Supremo of TNC. So we'll see how well will they be able to adapt as well as perform. But one thing is for sure, a team like NRX 432, we know the name, we know the brand already. NRX 432 are in here also to show us that they have what it takes to go in and fight it off against the Kings that are in here on this same lobby.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, as NRX 432 continues on, so will the players of Alpha 8. They are in Team H, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Apollo, Komori, Solotov, as well as Sige. And as you can see from the early parts of the game, they are focusing on beefing up their firepower. And we talked about the mods, but we also have to focus on getting all of our classes upgraded. And that's exactly what Team 8 has gone in here to sort out. Alpha 8, will they be the alphas of this lobby? We still have to wait and see. But one of the great things about the hacker class is it also gives you the ability to check out if anybody is within the compound. Not just disable them, but that information, that bit of information when you're a team like NRX 420, who's capable of hopping on into battles, slicing people out of the equation quickly, comes in very handy, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And as well as the confusion it makes when that is activated against you, that will really provide a good information, more information for those who activated the hacker class. It will give them like a scramble for the other teams, thus getting their positions off and also a chance for them to be taken down. But Kicks PH right now is in a battle against Alexis Vicious, and we'll see on the high ground we have a Kicks PH, KPH, but they need to move down because they are being gunned down in here by Alexis.
Gonna be so high as he approaches the situation. Needs to back away quickly because he is low on HP. Two players catches him. 2 HP left. So high. Gets out of there. So good with the reposition. But Kanin as well as Silent, they weren't able to finish him off because they were all tagged up as well. And Dave Scally now trying to finish off both players at the very same time. Silent still out in the open, but Dave Scally does not get it. And as Silent reposition, he turns around and punishes Dave Scally for that inappropriate approach. That was just out in the open. Chasing down 2 players, you were asking for that, brother.
Yeah, I mean, you're having the rewind class as well. That will be a pinch, so an opportunity for Lexus to be able to go in. But we'll see how well will they be able to go for the rotation, knowing that we still have Aki right here, big and so high into the mix. But another team will be jumping in, and this is the almighty Prime that we have seen already at TNC. How well will they perform with new brand, with a new name, and well, the same old team.
Yeah, and it is going to be Dre here, together with Chase, Classy, as well as Chibi. One of the teams that can most definitely dominate the lobby. And all they have right now is 2 kills on their side. But as you can see, they are on the hunt for more. Very quickly, they sort out all of their looting progress, find those snowboards for themselves, and go in for the hunt because they have got the capability of engagement. And not only do they have the capability to engage, but also annihilate. But that now getting his back caught by Jaeger, who does not get the shots through the SVD to shut him down. Guy flies away, and it is going to be this team that backs away from the engagement. Easy Reborn Esports Magna. They are not looking for cheap shots, but, you know, if they can find a couple and get a knock, why not, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, it's more of a tactical approach from Easy Reborn right here that we've seen so far that some have been struggling. The moment that they see an opponent, they just jump in, they go for the battle, not knowing how to approach this more smartly. It's more of the side of Easy Reborn to think and get that discipline to be able to back away a little bit, hold back, and use those snipers to their advantage, not just for information, but also to add in a little bit of damage. Now, going back, we have SDPH. Once again, they have 2 choppers on them and a chance to go in against 432, who was hanging back here near the launch base. And if I'm not mistaken, they were the target of Easy Reborn. So how many teams are in here? We have yet to find out, as SDPH will be moving away. Now, back then, Nomad Virus was able to find HE on those fight and was able to take them down from the vehicle. How well will they be able to respond to this battle? That is a challenge of SDPH. Oh, no challenge will be happening. I think SDPH was just roaming around.
Absolutely, man. A lot of people are asking whether or not Almighty is representing Singapore, but I believe all four of those players are from the Philippines, and it is just Almighty sponsoring the squad. And that is because they see the promise in all of these players. That's most definitely a solid move coming through, Neptune. I feel like TNC Prime has, for the longest of time, been proving themselves out there on the battlefield. About time they get picked up by an organization like that.
Yeah, and I also love that Almighty will be jumping in the Battle Royale scene because we've known them so much from different modes. So this provides us a more of a good insight, better perspective of how far the Battle Royale scene will be going, because having Almighty in here jumping in this scene, in this mode, gives us an idea that a lot of eyes are on this. And for those of you who want to jump in or jump back in to Battle Royale, this is your chance, because a lot of things will be happening, a lot of big things, I would say, AJ.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, as all of these players continue to move out there on the battlefield, it will be a slow-paced matchup from the get-go for sure, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But look at this. Ron as well as Claudie caught out in the open. Guy takes himself out of the equation, and the Vagabonds are here for the hunt. And as the players get taken out one after the other, we can see up top on the roof one final player from the side of Team K, the one and only TNC Empress. But they will have a little bit of company as well, because the Royal Kings are in the same compound. And as Vagabonds move on in, the final player from the side of TNC Emperor gets away from the equation. But Swish is not allowing anybody to run away from this compound. The guy is on a hunt, Odin in hand. Swish is going to be following him right up top as well. But Gerard, can he turn around and shut him down? No. Pulls out the snowboard to continue running away. But it looks like you cannot get away from the one and only Swish. He has got that information, and he continues the hunt, but not wanting to get too far away from the rest of his team members. Perhaps the flank onto Royal now might be a good idea. Ooh. But Virus turns around and helps Swish out, and they take out the guy who's trying to get away with the vehicle. Multiple teams being hit at the very same time here by Vagabonds Esports.
And I love how the information is being relayed to all members of Vagabonds Nomads, Vagabonds Esports Nomads. And Swish, knowing that the information being relayed that well, Swish backing out, seeing one of the opponents right there on the vehicle and putting them down, they could have also approached and waited for the Royal Kings' response to their push for them to be able to understand if they can take them down. But we have the NRX 420 right now, who is, I believe, is being chased right there, and Zeus will be taken down. But there goes a comeback coming from the rest of NRX 420. Jace has been taken down as well, or Will was able to go in for the takedown. Oh no! NRX 420 Cafe will be knocked out and eliminated.
And this is the quality from Almighty Prime. But it is going to be Quasi now who catches one player on the side of NRX 420, I believe, through his hacks. But he isn't going to be able to find him just yet. Boji is going to be very quiet, sitting down in one of those silos just beyond. And Quasi can go in for the hunt. They all know the information there already. But they have to be careful at the same time, because they have spotted out a couple of players from the side of EC, Reborn Esports, Magna, just beyond on the right-hand side, who might just be able to stake a quick ambush if they wanted to. Calibre, good shot by Blue. Nash gets the grenade kill onto Panot, and the Vagabonds Esports squad now picking up some highlight reel for themselves, Neptune.
Yeah, indeed. We have the Vagabonds Esports. We've seen, or we are waiting for them to pop off, really, because so far they have done so well in the qualifiers. With the performance that they've done on the qualifiers, going in for 20, averaging 20 to 23 in the points per round. Yeah. We are hoping that it will be shown right now, and we know the gameplay at some point from the Vagabonds Esports. They go for the mid game as up until the late game, focusing on the position as well as a placement first before getting in for the kills. And we know how they work. They get the kills most of the time, especially on that final circle. So I think that's the one reason why they only have 2 points for now.
Let's see if or not they will be able to pull away more as Travis continues to strike. Vagabonds Nomads a little more aggressive than Vagabonds Esports themselves, and it looks like NRX 420 Boji might just be the next victims of Vagabonds Nomads. It is 3 players moving on very slowly. Dog tag still not picked up yet by Boji as he hops on right back down one of those silos. And he removes the traps in front of him first, Virus. But Boji hides himself well. Esir, one final attack. This might just be the end of NRX 420. 2 players on the side of Vagabonds, Nomads, on for the hunt. Boji hasn't been spotted. Esir makes a mistake, but he falls right behind Boji. And NRX 420, unfortunately, have been taken out of the equation. Did Boji manage to bring any players back in terms of a scan earlier on? We will have to still wait and see, Neptune.
And we'll have to find out if he managed to get at least one for chance for them. But this is very difficult because safe zone will be coming in and a lot of chase has been happening. Yeah, they will be pulled out from that area where the dog tags are left. But how much time do they have and how much HP will they need to sacrifice to be able to get those tags? But Vagabonds Esports right now getting a good position below NRX 432's cover up in smoke right now, but still in a good place to be able to get a few covers, not to be gunned down that easily.
Absolutely, man. We were expecting, the rivalry to continue between the players of NRX 420 as well as 4Kings a little bit longer in this first lobby. But like we discussed earlier on, before hopping on into this broadcast, Neptune, Vagabonds Esports might just be the big brothers who stand by and nod their heads and shut them down. But it didn't even take Vagabonds Esports. It was the Nomad that sought them out, and Kape was brought back. Kape was brought back, and it is Esir that shuts him down yet again. Vagabonds, Nomads, they have got the numbers of NRX 420, and they are punching them through, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And now, Nomads, they continue traveling on. Who else will they slay? This Brad is out to most definitely grab as many kills as possible before getting to the final circle here, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, 12 kills already to their name, and Vagabonds Nomads is not stopping. 14 in there against Froch, and Froch will be taken down. Royal Kings right now is in trouble, but I think it's HE. That will be the next target of the Nomads. Virus right now is just waiting for a chance. Solo top will be taken down, and there goes APE. The Apes, Alpha Apes will be down and out, and I think another will be eliminated as well as we are down to 10 seasons.
Yeah, this is an all-you-can-eat buffet for the Vagabonds Nomads. They are just leaving their big brothers, Vagabonds Esports, in the dust with their performance right now. And as they continue grabbing one kill after the other, Vagabonds Esports will be shown on our screen. Sean's not going to be able to get away from 2 players on the side of Vagabonds Esports. 8 kills in here so far, and they continue their hunt. They might be able to spot a player on the side of TNC Empress right up top. Claudia has got the advantage in terms of height, but it will not be a situation where he can control all on his own. 1v4 against a full squad of Vagabonds Esports is a little lot to ask for, Neptune.
Yeah, indeed. And going back, I mean, it's just Vagabonds right now that keeps popping up. Whether it's Nomads or Esports, they are getting the kills and slowly catching up onto the 18. If I'm not mistaken, that was 18 that I've seen from Nomads. There goes Vagabonds Esports. Niana will be taken down, and Nash for that spray, bringing their team to 10 kills already. The question remains, AJ. I believe the last 2 teams will be moving up in here. Yeah. Most likely are the 2 teams coming from the Vagabonds brand. And who among these 2 will be bagging the number 1?
Oh, yeah, man. But Almighty is still alive and kicking as well. If the Vagabonds can have anything to say about it, they most definitely will. Nova, and it's not going to affect any of them, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, popped by those own players just in replacement of the smoke to be played a little bit later on. GB from afar now. The fight still comes through from the players of Easy Reborn Esports Magna. Pretty long name, but they have got a long history behind them as well in terms of going out there to dominate those teams. Dustin, just beside Quasi. Quasi now just waiting for the approach, but Dustin's not going to make the mistake. Spots the player out. Easy spray, and Quasi knocks Dustin down, but the zone takes Quasi out of the equation. GG.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult for him because the safe zone is already moving in, and the damage he's gotten, despite of that knockdown, will still put them down. Now, this is what we're talking about. 2 Vagabond teams going against each other, and Esser taking out Yato into the play, and we have Swish, Esser, and Travis still alive, but Travis right now needs to armor up. Yato still has a chance to be picked up, but if he will be taken down, it will be a 3v3 against these 2 teams.
Yeah, Vagabond Esports now shutting down their little brothers and Vagabonds Nomads. No matter how much they rage on against the Vagabonds Esports, they seem subdued instantaneously. Kev's up now, 0 on that armor. Will sort that out instantaneously. Travis still alive and kicking as he tries to survive now. He holds a very close proximity to the rest of the players of Easy Reborn Esports Magna. But it's not going to be a situation that Travis will not be able to manage all on his own from afar as well. You see the approach of the Phoenix, and it's all getting down in this final circle, Neptune. 9 more players from 5 different squads. Vagabonds Esports look like they are about to wrap things up quick.
And they have the high ground, an optimal position for this team, getting information as to where the other teams are. And here comes the drop against Nyx. And Nyx right now is in there. But no, there goes the pullback with a rewind class. And Nyx will be left in there outside of zone. No, I don't think that's Nyx. That was a different team. And this different name, it is one from PNC. It's Paquito. Paquito right now is being gunned down and will be attempted to be eliminated right now. We're now down in there as Paquito kills himself outside of zone. Dustin will be taken out by Travis, and we are seeing Easy Reborn being dominated by the Vagabonds Esports.
And Vagabonds Esports, they might have not been able to take over with the number of kills. And Vagabonds Nomads with that survival through Travis finally comes in for the engagement. Does not blue as well. Travis with a quick hit and run inside of the smoke now. Can Travis survive this? Is this a one-on-one? Steps up, approaches, and he gets taken down. Vagabonds Nomads pull in the first victory.
Vagabonds Nomads proving that they are in this first round better than their brothers, Vagabonds Esports. And the rise of a new name will be in here in the sights of Vagabonds Nomads. And it's no surprise, AJ. We've seen them out there in there showing up with the kills already. And compared to how it started with Vagabonds Esports, it's quite interesting how well Vagabonds Nomads are doing it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, you have to be hungry, right? You have to be hungry, and that's exactly what Vagabonds Nomads are. The big brothers, Vagabonds Esports, they are just bagging competition after competition after competition. The kings of kings. That is exactly who Vagabonds Esports are. And Vagabonds Nomads, they want a little bit of that as well, man. If they cannot grab the title just yet, what they will do is impress us. This is a great start for Vagabonds Nomads. They have shown us consistency in the past, but consistency to be better than Vagabonds Esports, that's something that we have not seen just yet. Hopefully, this can continue for the Team Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, we are hoping that a lot of teams right now who haven't been featured just yet in Battle Royale scene will be moving up and showing up in the one of the biggest Battle Royale tournament that we have seen so far, especially on the Garena side. This is a triple S tier class tournament, and I love that all these teams like the Nomads were in. They have been in shadow of their bigger brothers for such time that they need to really show up. As we can see, AJ, Travis in there bagging 12 kills already, and that's just round number 1.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. 12 kills from just that guy alone is absolutely insane, equaling the number of SCR as well as Virus put together. And overall, 25 kills picked up by Vagabonds Nomads, alongside 10 points from the placement, will make them smile year to year for sure. But Vagabonds Esports, they were not too far behind. Alongside 13 kills, they pick up 6 points from the placements. And we know that it is still a possibility for Vagabonds Esports to very quickly just jump into that number 1 spot. But it will be the battle between the brothers for sure, but very close behind Vagabonds Esports themselves. This one is where I'm a little bit surprised, because Easy Reborn Esports Magna picking up the 3rd spot, 5 kills in hand. Hopefully this can be the consistency that they show us, because it has been a team that has been on the rise recently, but consistency is where they kind of faltered just a little bit. Unlike the players of team number 4 in here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the one and only Almighty Prime. They've been consistent in the past, and you can see that through their kills, Neptune. But positioning, the placements, can be a little bit more better in here, buddy.
Yeah, and definitely. And I think the placements has been done better by Easy Reborn. And we have pointed out that the trigger discipline, as well as the tactics of not being aggressive, if that is not your forte, is one thing that you can go into. And we've seen that from Easy Reborn, thus making themselves in their move up on to the placement point, and then it's a decent amount of kills. AJ,
Yeah.
5 kills is decent amount, especially for lobby wherein there's a lot of aggression coming in, as Nomads showed, as Vagabonds Esports shows, as well as other teams like Almighty Prime. So
Yeah.
pulling back a little bit, getting that distance, looking at it at the big picture, and
Hmm.
getting a better approach on the situation. That is how you need to do it. And then
Yeah.
later on, I won't be surprised if they have an analyst behind them who
Mm.
will be telling them as to how they can approach this the next time that they go in isolated.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, all of the players from the side of NRX 420 have the opportunity to step it up, but they need to start stepping things up immediately, man. They picked the 12th spot with 0 kills. Like I said, you can have the wall of wards, but you can't go in for a drive-by without your foot steady on the gas pedal. You will get shot right back. NRX 420, they are struggling in their very first attempt in here to rise up to the top. Will this rivalry end up with the players of Four Kings having the final say by just proving themselves out there on the battlefield, or will a stronger fight come back through? We need to wait and see. But NRX 432, on the other hand, they did pretty decent for themselves this time around, nephew, picking up the 7th spot alongside 5 kills.
Yeah, I mean, 432 is a team that it. I mean, the team, the name itself is a more of tournaments as well, like small
Mm,
tournaments, as a streamer as they are. They
yeah.
have shown up in there, but on the, say, a battle royale, big battle royale level, they are still on their way to really prove that they are in there, leveling up to the
Mm.
NRX name, and that is to the Kings of Old, which is 420. So 432 is in a good way to be able to move up in here. And this is slow as we've seen so far for the first round. And I think it will pick up later on, especially
Yeah.
for Isolated, wherein they are very, very proficient in
Yeah.
this map.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And we were talking about it earlier on whether or not in this rivalry between NRX 420 as well as the Four Kings, whether or not the players of Vagabonds Esports will have their arms crossed, looking down on them and asking, "What's up, brothers? When are we gonna be involved in this rivalry as well?" And even Vagabonds Esports, they didn't need to step it up because Vagabonds Nomads took it upon themselves to finish off the players of NRX 420. And that's just gonna be it, man. So now NRX 420, not do they only have to prove themselves against the players of Four Kings, but within this battle itself, within this lobby against Vagabonds Nomads, who have really just found that clutch, who have really found that weak point of NRX 420 to just puncture them in. Granted, there was a little bit of hurt placed on by a previous squad before that engagement, but it doesn't really matter, right? That was the finisher that the players of NRX 420 was not looking for. But the Vagabonds Nomads, they not only stopped there, but they continued all the way into the final battle as well, the final zone, where they did encounter a couple of the players from Vagabonds Esports. And this is where things started to turn south for them, dropping multiple players and Travis immediately backing away from that engagement. And that's exactly where Vagabonds Nomads once again takes a bonus point from me, right? Because understanding the power of your opponents and backing away when you truly need to, just to play the game of survival, because that's exactly what battle royales are. It's a game of
Yeah.
survival. He played that really well, nephew.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Battle Royale, you really need to choose your fight, know when you're in disadvantage, and then distance yourself or find a better
Yeah.
spot to put yourself up there on I would say better advantage, but
Hmm.
at least a chance to balance everything out. And
Yeah.
for those who can back away and not really aggress that much and wait for the perfect timing, they are in here to really take a lot in the Battle Royale scene.
Absolutely, man. And of course, it is the consistency that will be key at the end of the day. You cannot just perform in exactly just one of these lobbies and, consider yourself the king. The
Mm-hmm.
king of kings, Vagabonds Esports, will not be having any of that because after dropping this first round in that second spot, they will be coming right back in here, stronger than ever in game number 2. So Vagabonds Nomads, their little brothers need to just watch out for that just a little bit. But if they can continue this progress that they've already made from the first lobby in here with the exact same amount of aggression as well as supreme decision making that has managed to bring them to the final circle as well as the victory, then even Vagabonds Esports are going to have their hands full with them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, looking at the data that we have from previously from all the qualifiers, they come in number 4 when it comes to the points. So it's I mean, it's no surprise that we are seeing Vagabonds Nomads right now, and with the different of approach between the Nomads as well as Vagabonds Esports, it is also visible that Vagabonds Nomads has a greater stride in the start of the tournament because they go in aggressive first and then later on get a good position compared to what we pointed out for Vagabonds Esports, wherein they go in from mid game to late game to be able to step into that final circle.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, the Vagabonds Nomads, they will pick up the round number 1 in such a dominant fashion. Once again, I believe they finished off that lobby with 25 kills and 10 placement points. So 35 points picked up from the very first matchup in itself. That's super solid, Neptune. I mean, a lot of hard work has been put into the first lobby. But how will they fare on game number 2? How will they fare at Blackout? Will they be as dominant? Will the Vagabonds Esports as well as Nomads brand be able to sustain until those final circles? We're still here to see. But nothing that happens on day 1 is going to potentially paint out the full picture just yet, Neptune. Once again, a lot of things can happen over the 3 days of competition.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of things that really change from day 1 to day 2, day 3. And this is just, I would say, a sneak peek of what we are expecting to see furthermore into tournaments. But for those of you who are in here who are really solid supporting us right now, we have a gift for you. We have the Rare Wish Crate right now, and the code is right there just below AJ, and it is for you to be redeemed right now because this is limited, guys. And limited, when I say there's only a few people who might be able to get that. So hopefully we won't see that in the comment section saying that I didn't get that. So that is that we've set that already.
Yeah, you got to be quick, but not too quick, right? Wait for us to go to a break first before you hop on in to redeem it for yourself. A lot of action to anticipate in here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The day has started off slow, just the way we like it. And it is to be ramped up little by little as we get hot, down, and dirty with it. Round number 2 will be with you right after a quick short break.
Welcome back to the Garena Survivors semifinals, day number 4. We are about to see yet another round from Group B of the semifinals. And at your service and a casting desk, I am Neptune, the Gentleman Garcia. Together with me is the voice of Garena Call of Duty Mobile, the Mustachio, AJ.
Thank you for that introduction, Neptune. I am very honored to be one of the main voices for Garena Call of Duty Mobile, but I wouldn't be able to get this opportunity out here if it wasn't for all of you guys and all of the love that you always send my way. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And thank you, Neptune. I appreciate that, bro. Here's the thing. Rivalry, unfortunately, needs to be put aside for the time being because NRX 420 did not step it up. And as anticipated, Big Brothers Vagabonds had the final say, but it wasn't even Vagabonds Esports. It was Vagabonds Nomad, surprisingly, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, they have been silent in there, just performing well on tournaments after tournaments and showing up in here. And that's what we've seen. That's what we've seen so far. They have shown us that it's more of the performance that can really prove a thing when it comes to the gaming scene, when the esports scene. And that is what Vagabonds and Nomads, as well as Vagabonds Esports, are showing us right now. And it's no surprise that the Nomads was able to take a lead against their brothers of the Vagabonds Esports because they are in there showing up every time and with their brothers as well, improving day after day.
Absolutely, man. But let's take a look at the leaderboard so we can paint this story out a little bit better of what happened in game number 1. Vagabonds Nomads with a commanding lead over Vagabonds Esports, who are the current King of Kings of Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale with 19 points at that second spot. 35-19 is quite a leap away, but nothing that they cannot sort out within one match in itself. And Almighty Prime, with their almighty plays this time round on game number 1, has managed to slide into that number 3 spot. Easy Reborn Esports Magna, on the other hand, with the 4th placement with 10 points, 5 coming through the kills and 5 from the placements. Whereas Alpha Ape has managed to play a lot of those aggressive approaches towards the match, but only managed to nick off a single point from placements. And TNC Supremo kind of keeps up the pressure with them, showing that you don't need just aggression out there on the battlefield if you can tactfully get into the zone and earn those placement points for yourself. So without, the effort on those gunfights, they still have managed to keep up with each other in here. And TNC Supremo will have NRX 432 right below them with 6 points as well. But this time, it is back to the story of aggression. It really doesn't matter how you get the points out there on the battlefield. But for the teams who are struggling to get into those engagements and pull away, the placement points would obviously be a better choice, like what you see the players of the side of Phoenix pull in consideration to STPH Generals here, Neptune.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's more of understanding how everything is flowing and managing first on an objective, which is a placement. And once you find out how you would flow into the mix up until the final circle, then you can focus more of your rotation, your plan of approach, and then get those kills. And that is just in case you cannot manage it on the kills department. But moving in onto the right hand side of the scene, a lot of threes right here from HE Phoenix, Sigra Poseidon, Royal Kings, Kicks PH or KPH Wicked. And moving in there in 13, we have Elixus Vicious, who we've seen has been taken down early into the early engagement within the practice range. TNC Emperors as well, also who fell down the practice range, is NRX 420 and Cerulean Legion right now, getting no points at all just yet for the first round. But this is no surprise, as well as the teams can move up into the top 8, even if they have been put down in the bottom right there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, at the start of match 2, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we head on straight into Blackout, and it will still be the TPP gameplay that we have in here. So we will see their capability to manage the Blackout map first before we start to tease them with the change of perspective. But as you can see, very quickly, NRX 420 will once again strike the nearest available drop spot to them, so they do not waste a lot of time looting up in the matchup. But at the same time, you do not see a chopper within Nuketown Island here, which might just be a challenge for the side of NRX 420 later on as they try to reposition themselves, Nephew.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing's for sure, or one thing surprises me is no one went for that middle firing range where you have two choppers, assuming that everyone will be targeting a chopper up front. So we'll have to see if anyone will be rushing in there. Probably a team will be moving in there, but going in onto back funds, nomads. The top teams got the top points from the first round are in here on construction side, and they will be battling it out against Sigra Poseidon. So how will this go? How will this flow? We'll have to see as soon as they get into the engagement and get those loots.
It is going to be NRX 432 who are silently looting up this compound, but they have to be careful because just beyond the left-hand side, He Phoenix looting up the area as well. Lots of dog tags around as well, and He Phoenix will do the right thing by getting out of Turbine. They grab that chopper and they move away as quickly as possible, leaving NRX 432 to manage this compound, Neptune.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of teams battling it out on this turbine, wherein they take one of the hangars out there and they just pull out, really putting in on that fight and drop zone as a draw. And that's a smart move as well because the compound itself, the one hangar itself, provides you with a lot of loot already. And if you have a chance to move away and prioritize probably on getting upgrades as well as the airdrop before going for the engagement, that will be a big plus for your team. But going back into Secret Poseidon right now, I think they've sensed that it is a little bit too much if they have a team above them, so they need to pull out a little bit to get some information. But Backbone's Nomads are not rushing it that quickly. They are going for the gunfight, and there's no jump just yet. They need to get, they are going in for the good position before they go in for the rush, AJ.
Absolutely, man, and that's what you gotta love. By the side of Vagabonds, Nomads now. Travis positioning supremacy, manages to get Oda as well as they're from the back. Can he find that backstab? But Travis does not wait for any of the other team members. He just gets the job done on his own. Poseidon taken out of the equation as well as Swish assists the one and only Travis. 2 kills in the bag, and Vagabonds Esports 3 overall will most definitely be happy with that engagement. But one final player is still left inside for Sigra Poseidon, who can make a good attempt to pull those dog tags right back into the play. And if Vagabonds Nomads will have the last say, they can just allow him to do that because more kills later on for kill points than few.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen a lot of teams do that, leaving one and then probably not waiting that long because we've seen how that happened to a team who waited long for the revive and come back just to focus on the kills and then will be taken out by the zone. But we've seen already on the kill feed that NRX 432 are being taken down slowly by HE Phoenix, and this time there's a full squad of HE Phoenix right now going in for the push. Joe has been taken down, and I think this is already a squad wipe for the side of NRX 432.
Absolutely, man. And NRX 432 didn't expect that coming as the players of He Phoenix rises up from their previous performance to shut them down quickly. And NRX 432, you can see the dog tags of 15 still out there, which means there is one more player in the vicinity here somewhere hiding away, Neptune. So the dog tag retrieval, oh, look at that fake coming through. It is going to be Assassin. They do not want to get tricked out. And it looks like He Phoenix will still be in here for the fight. They want to gatekeep all of these dog tags now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart move from them. They have plenty of time right now. It's 45 seconds before the next revive flight is in there. Also the same as to same goes as to those taking dog tags. But for you to be able to move forward, it makes no sense early into this game to really hold on to those like breaks and gatekeeping of the dog tags. All you have to do is just keep moving forward. You have the advantage of the chopper already, and what you can do is just move in there, get as much airdrop as possible, and then if you spot an enemy, if it's up to you to go and get for the fight, then go ahead and do it. And I think that is the same that's happening for Backbones Esports right now.
Let's see if the teams can find a little bit of an adjustment here to perhaps land on the ground and pick a couple of fights so we get to enjoy shoutcasting for them. But obviously, I'm just teasing them. They want to make sure they get into a better position first in terms of defense. Vagabonds Esports, same thing here. They go ahead and engage and get another chopper out there by the side of ECB or Esports Magna. But Those are these are shots that will force the chopper down. And here comes the wipeout. Yato, will they be hopping on out? Yes, they will. Nash for the attack first. It is going to be Dustin. 2 players up top on the roof. Nash joins them as well. This is a 3v2. And the players of Easy Reborn Esports back up. Pop the smoke. And they're not going to get taken down just yet. Dustin bravely steps on out. But Yato will be able to manage the situation. The Ninja steps on out of the smoke and just waits for the approach. Very cool, calm, and collected with that engagement. 8 on the other hand. The one and only Alpha 8. Sid, beautiful takedown. And he will be knocked down by Sucre, who finds that backstab. 8 Solotov on the other hand. The one and only player plays the rewind to perfection as he repositions. It is going to be 2 more players out there on the battlefield. But Sid is down on the ground, knocked out already. And all in the hands of Solotov now to help the team stand back up, Neptune.
Solotov right now going for the flank, but the pickup has been done already. And oh no, Assassin is in there. He has been moving a lot and he has a chance. Solotov has a chance to go in to get back up as well. But we'll have to see how will this be approached by HE Phoenix as we have a 2v3 situation. There goes the getaway by Burn, but he will not be able to get away. Jumping out of the car right now and missing that chance to go in eliminated. But we'll see. It's a 2v3 and there goes Assassin being taken down, and let's see how well will ABE get to this as it is now
We do indeed. Solotov, final player, can he get away? Yes. 0 on the armor, still has a little bit of life in him. He slides away, recovering. It's gonna be the armor overcharger in his hands now. Kinetic will not be applied fully, and Solotov, he backs away with just a single armor. Merc on the other side for HE Phoenix will not only survive but be able to pick up Sucre's dog tag, scan him right back through, and HE Phoenix are right back ready for the next battle. But Merc needs to do something about the flaming bonnet on Viscar, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, he just needs to get a little bit of position, make sure that that will not explode in front of the rest of the teams, because we know Sucre will be coming back to pick up his loot from the death rate. And that is what Merc, I believe, is doing, not to put them into the disadvantage. STPH right now, I think they are also in here in a disadvantage because in an open ground, the same as Backbone's Nomads going against Almighty, and that is wise to use that smoke to get as cover as well as to get information against the Almighty team.
Let's see what they can pull off in here now. They are closing down all of the distance. Vagabonds, Nomads, they are on the hunt, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But Almighty Prime quickly reposition, heading on straight towards the airdrop, not even waiting for Vagabonds, Nomads to come through for that challenge. And if they can hit that airdrop first, it's going to be a GGWP, because Vagabonds, Nomads are heading for the exact same objective out there as well. And this re-engagement between these two teams isn't going to look very pretty. And they start off from Vagabonds, Nomads. They do a shot first. Chase wall return fire, but both of the teams have got a role they need to take advantage of. The smoke in the middle opens up the airdrop for the players of Almighty Prime.
Quasi right now for spam, but will not be able to put that much damage against the Vagabonds and Nomads right now. We have Almighty Prime in here, seeing Esser as well with a vehicle that might put them in a tough spot, because with that vehicle right there as a possible bomb in front of them. But no, there goes the takedown against the Drain, and we have a Travis right now to think for that, and the rush is on. We've seen this game for the moment. What will be taken down? This is the opportunity for them to go in for that push.
What will they push bring? And Skintaro finds Blue. Vagabonds Esports being shut down one after the other by NRX 420. NRX 420 going for the Kings themselves, the Kings of Kings. Travis shuts down Almighty's Quasi. This battle still continuing out here on the battlefield. It will be Chibi now. Goes in for the slide, but Swish finishes off Dre. And Almighty, they immediately find themselves at the losing end. But Chibi returns fire. Virus taken out of the equation. Chase about to get picked up potentially, but Chibi, as he repositions now, has got the duty to pick up those dog tags, but Vagabonds Nomads for the chase, and Swish finishes off the Almighty player.
Swish going all swish right now for that snowboard as well as for the kill. Now we have Vagabonds Nomads still on top of the kills with a 9 already for this team. And we are just looking at the second phase of the safe zone, AJ.
Yeah.
And this is early aggression coming in from Vagabonds Nomads. This is one thing that make them different from the Vagabonds Esports, but this is where as well they have been put and pedestal on round number 1. So I think there's still no stopping in their consistency will be their play.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, the players of TNC now, very quickly, they find their position in here. TNC Supremo trying to avoid the open shots taken by the Royal Kings. But there will be a drive-by by Cerulean Legion as well. And Paquito's not going to be able to catch him off just yet with the thumper. Prime needs to be careful. Very dangerous approach now by all of the players on the side of Team M. The one and only Helilux Vicious as they continue this engagement, Neptune.
And we have TNC who will be pressured by the safe zone right now. And I think that is what Helixus has been waiting for. Now, if they have the firepower as well as the mechanical skills to go and take them one at a time, that would be great. But TNC really needs to move right now. This is just a second phase. It's not that much damage. But with a team in there ready to put you down with all those gunshots, then it will be very, very bad for you to go against that up front. So they need to go and take the flank, probably take a dog tag of one of their teammates, and then back away from this battle, because a 4v3 will not look good at this point if that will be the case for this game.
And let's see whether or not the game of numbers can be turned around here. NRX 420 dropping by as well. You can see them just beyond the circle trying to get into a safer zone. The players of Team N, the one and only Royal Kings. Off rush, one more HP, and he gets taken down as well. Paquito down on the ground. Body strikes. The Wonder Kid won't be able to find player after player. Hangin takes a rod down onto the ground, but Assassin takes himself out of the equation. Just chaos out there on the battlefield as all of these teams panic now in the final moments as the teams find one after the other. Ron trying to get all of those players hacked up, but he pulls it out at the wrong moment. Omega as well as Hangin, they wrap up the players of TNC, and now Gerard, the final surviving player. Can he get this done? 34 HP, manages to hop on out. No takedown just yet. Carpe takes down Zorro, and NRX 420 still with the supreme engagements outside Neptune.
And they have been there going battling it out on the south of this map. But what we have right now is another party, a third party coming from SDPH, hearing those gunshots, and Royal Omega right now is being chased, and Omega will be taken down in there. There's only one more for the side of Team N, and that is a one from number 2. Well, we still have yet to see who that last remaining member of the Royal Kings are, but SDPH was just in there, just in the right time to get one kill for their name. But we'll have to see how well will they be able to go in there. Oh, AJ, that was surprising. Spinks in there taking down BB Esports.
Yeah, man, Spinks just blew up as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Vagabonds Esports, and Yato gets taken down. What's going on? It is Vagabonds Esports now being annihilated one after the other by Easy Reborn Esports Magna. But here comes the revenge from the little brothers, Vagabonds Nomads, who have already shut down Easy R1's Virus. Quick flank towards the right-hand side. He takes position on top of the roof best. And as you can see, the S here as well as Switchers trying to maintain a clean line here. The line of cover as well as fire behind those boulders, and slowly they close the distance. But Easy Reborn, they're not waiting to ask questions. They're not waiting to answer the players of Vagabonds Nomads as well. But Virus will continue to push the pressure, to push those questions. NRX 420 still popping up in the background. We'll hop onto them a little bit later on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. For the time being, what will be the fate of Easy Reborn Esports Magna?
Easy Reborn right now, when they started it smart, they are going in there being taken down with the aggression of the Backbunch Nomads. Nyx has been taken out. Jaeger will be taken down. Now Ron will be, or Dastin will be stuck right now in that corner, literally being gunned down, being pushed, and there goes Dastin in the dust, being taken down by Swish. And this is the chance for them to move in, because the safe zone will be closing in up onto the third phase, or going into the fourth, and we have 12 kills already for the Nomads, and there's really no stopping them onto that part.
Oh yeah, absolutely, sir. Vagabonds Nomads just on here on a roll, 12 kills once again, and this is nowhere close to ending just yet. But off screen, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, NRX 420, we haven't spectated them just yet in detail, but they are already on the way towards the next circle as well. But on the opposite side of 2 of those green crates, the green airdrops that will be available in the matchup, which means there will be most definitely a low number of golden mods on the side of NRX 420. 420 unless they've managed to pull that off of all of the kills that they've managed to find out there, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll have to see how much kills will they be able to find right now as they are facing off HE Phoenix right here. Burn is in there being sighted, being spotted. And Travis right now for the shots, but missing a lot of them. And Burning will not be, burning just yet as Swish goes in there for the follow-up.
The players of Vagabonds Nomads continuing on with their push in here. They spot out the players of Phoenix. Phoenix managed to get away earlier on, but this is the opportunity for the Nomads now to finish them off once and for all. But they have to be careful with their approach because Cerulean Legion is just on standby, waiting for anybody to appear in their spot and then, of course, take that backstab. But look at this. The Vagabonds Nomads not going to be falling for any of it. They do not rush on in to look for kills, but they quickly reposition as they want to find their own defensive ground as well before they move in for those shutdown plays. And Swish already has the 2 of those golden mods on him. Extend mag as well. Another one that I didn't manage to catch earlier on. That will be the winning spot as Travis catches Cape. Boji now trying to get away. Travis, can he find him as well? Yeah, he does! NRX 420 and Vagabonds Nomads, they strike again!
They strike again, and it's very far from the rest of the teams of NRX 420. So Vagabonds right now will be in a role and not thinking about their backs right now as they rush in against SDPH. They still have 4 teams, 4 members of SDPH to need to focus on, and it's the 1-1-1 as you can see from the position being done by Vagabonds and Nomads, but we'll have to see. But not right now, will be stuck in there, will be taken down by Virus and beating Switch to the punch. But we'll see how well will they be able to rotate against Nomads and will they be able to get away.
There, Kintaro and Zeus still alive and kicking. Kintaro manages to find one Zeus as well. But Esir out of nowhere. Can he strike? One player just behind the boat. Esir misses him totally and he will still survive. But Zeus now gets taken out of the equation as Virus spots Bree. He shuts him out of the equation as well. And Vagabonds Nomads, they are not leaving a single vehicle available out there as they pop one after the other. They know exactly where the hidden spots will be. They know exactly where these other players will be running off to. And now 8 more players out there on the battlefield and 4 of them not from the side of Vagabonds Nomads. Swish, he is going to continue the pressure onto them. But as we can see, only 7 on screen. 1 more player seems to be hidden somewhere.
One from Team C, that is NRX 420 right now, left behind and not really being focused on right now. So just for them to get for the placement point, how much kills do they have? We have yet to see. But right now, the smart move for them not to engage this yet. Here comes Wish for that swift accomplishment against Flappy, and that is a good swipe on the other side of that window. Now Kintaro right now is in there just moving back and forth in the safe zone, making sure that he will not be sighted, but we will not be taken down by the kills unless Esser makes them do that hit. But no, it is safe zone who takes them down.
Kintaro choosing to not give away any more points, and Vagabonds Nomads, baby, have managed to strike once again. And they actually made NRX 420 run away from that final circle instead of picking an engagement. Never, ever did I ever think I would see a situation like that. Because I'll tell you, man, NRX 420 of old, they would have stood their ground. They would have still taken that fight, Neptune. 1 kill point wouldn't have mattered much to them. I think they would have still taken their chances. But of course, the current NRX 420 just playing this a little bit careful, going in there just for the placement points, not looking for some free kills, and at the same time, not wanting to give away that 1 extra point to Vagabonds Nomad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure really coming into NRX 420 right now because of the name that they are carrying. So hopefully the pressure will be taken out from their shoulder, thinking that they can do it as long as they will be able to work in there. But as you can see, AJ, we featured Vagabonds Nomads already. Travis is doing his job, not going down double digits on the kills, but looking at 420 right now, and also we see that in the kill feed, they were able to get a lot of points, and that is 10 kills already to their name.
Yeah, absolutely, man. NRX 420 obviously doing a great job to step it right back up, but they weren't able to match up to the firepower of Vagabonds Nomads. And at one point, they had split off into a 2-to-2 buddy system. which I don't understand exactly why. Granted, this map of Blackout is huge, and you need to have those flanking positions as well, especially in that final circle. But in a final circle like that, where all you had was just open grounds with just one small compound to control, splitting up wasn't the best of ideas, because when they got knocked down, you couldn't see the rest of the players on the side of NRX 420 quickly drop that smoke, go in for that pickup. They did have a little bit of cover, but it just wasn't a situation that they could control because they were just split away too far apart. And that might just be something that NRX 420 wants to focus on, but picking up 10 kills in this round to recover a little bit of their name is most definitely solid. Looking on to the team that picked up the third spot in here, the one and only Cerulean Legion. This time they strike back with a total of 6 kills on their side. And as impressive as them was He Phoenix, who did finish off 1 spot lower. But when it comes to the kills, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they most definitely did solid. 10 kills overall for this squad in that 4th spot, Neptune.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams already from the previous match or from a previous battle of the semifinals, wherein some teams are really performing on the blackout map compared to isolated, and it's because of the familiarity as well as the tactics involved. And as you mentioned, AG, the 2-2 split will not be working. Most of the teams really focus, most of the top teams that we've seen so far really focus on sticking together. A chase might be happening, but there will be 1 or 2 members who are right there behind. So just in case that one member who is rushing in will be baited and will be taken down, a backup is instantaneously in there who will be able to finish the job. And that we are not seeing from the split that has been shown by 420 right now. Thus, the focus is more of a coordination as well as same objective. If one of the members are planning on aggression, it needs to be unanimous for everyone to go in for the aggression. Otherwise, it will just be all messed up.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about that at all, man. And of course, in terms of the aggression that was brought out this time from Vagabonds Esports themselves, it was just non-existent. They finish up in the 9th place, which is quite surprising. But do not mistake this as the fall of the Kings of Kings, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Like we said, day number 1 is a day of research. Day number 1 is a day where the very dedicated players focus on finding out the drop spots, finding out all of the approaches from the other teams. They don't need to pop off just yet. At the end of the day, the top 8 teams will move on to the grand finals. And the grand finals is where each and every single game counts. So Vagabonds Esports, they don't need to worry about that too much at all. But another team that we would love to highlight, of course, is Easy Reborn Esports Magna, as well as their combat ability out there on the battlefield. Great movements, great decision-making to reposition, etc. But when it comes to getting those skills, that's exactly where they seem to falter a little bit, Neptune.
Yeah, and that's one reason why they are backing off in the fight, because they are aware of their disadvantage when it comes to close battle. And this is what we're seeing right now, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, this was Vagabonds Esports taking on EZR. It was a good move to back away into that small hut there, and they popped the smoke. But the biggest mistake that they did make was smoking themselves out, which means they had already obscured their own vision in that scenario. Yes, you might have had one smoke bomber, but the other guy was just left to be taken down by the Vagabonds Esports players. So in terms of the firepower, the gunfights, they should be, focusing on sorting that out a little bit more. I don't know exactly what they're going to do, but, it needs to be fixed.
Yeah, and really smart in there for Travis to back away, because most of the time when people are stuck in the corner, when the enemy is stuck in the corner, your first judgment is to go and rush in and go for the push. And with that smoke being popped, that will be the death of you. But Travis just back out in there just in time to be able to survive, as well as pull out all the members of Easy Reborn out of that spot. Now, another thing that really surprises me is how HE was able to go in here and still maintain their pickups of their teammate, regardless how much pressure is being done by APE. Thus, Solotov has no choice but to back off from that fight.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And Solotov is most definitely on fire, just like a Molotov, but he needs a little bit of backup in some of those engagements. And it still might just be the first 2 matches of the day, but it really does show how some of those teams truly excel and how they overpower the other squads out there on the battlefield, as well as the movements. And EZR, they just didn't have an easy day out there, man. It would be the Vagabonds esports squad over and over again, just bagging those big kills. And Kape just was not wary of his positioning, no cover. And like we've talked about yesterday as well over the past 3 days, when you drop into Blackout, it is the home of the snipers. But when you stand out in the open to take some of those shots, then you're just asking to get knocked down, Neptune.
Yeah, and most of the teams who are really ending up on the final circle are those who are moving around because of just that situation, to just that point. Because it's either you are or you will be gunned down if you stay out in the open, or probably get higher ground, so you will not be or you will be the ones targeting instead of being targeted. And
Yeah.
if you are in there going for aggression for the kill points, just like Vagabonds Nomads, there's no stopping them at one point. It's
Mhm.
either they are rushing or all together into one point, gunning one man or one team down, and then later on they move once again.
Yeah. And, the players who did find themselves in the crosshairs of Vagabonds Nomads would understand that they are just a different class in the competition at the moment
Mhm.
because they just don't slow down their firepower, man. They just don't slow down their approach to any one of those situations. But great supreme decision making from Kintaro to play game of survival, to pick up the placement points. But I don't agree with avoiding that final engagement because I know a player like Kintaro would have been able to, at the very least, take down a player from the side of Vagabonds Nomads. Yes, the game of numbers would have caught up, but he could have still taken that engagement. I don't think giving away one extra kill point would make a huge difference, especially against Vagabonds Nomads that are picking up kill after kill after kill after kill. They are quite stacked up already with the points. So, a little bit disappointing to see him back away from an engagement like that. It's a totally different story, Neptune, when two
Mhm.
teams are at the top and they're vying for the number one spot, and every single point counts. So that was just a
Yeah.
decision that I didn't really agree with at the end.
Yeah, I mean, with the classes that he's using as well, he can go in and just play with the teams just for a little while, and not just backing out that easily. But
Yeah.
like we keep saying, there's a lot of pressure for this team of Kentaro right now. Thus, putting away that one
Yeah.
point will maybe not help them, but at least it will not help the other team who are against them.
Absolutely, man. We would like to remind the players that to allow all of the trash talking and the efforts to outshine the other players to be kept within the battlefield and not outside of it, not in the comment section, not on the player
Yeah.
cams after the match is over, because it will go ahead to, I guess, ruin the victory that has already been taken. So a quick shout out and a reminder as well to manage our own behaviors out there as we represent our brands, as well as, whatever we represent, man, even ourselves. We just got to be a little bit careful with that. But Neptune, let's take a quick short break. When we come back, this craziness will continue, man. Vagabonds Nomads, unexpected surge of power from the team. Quick short break. We'll be right back with you in a bit. Welcome back to the Garena Survivors. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is AJ. I'm the Mustachio down here with the one and only Neptune, the gentleman Garcia. Once again, we would like to apologize for anything that you could have seen on broadcast, and a warning has already been sent out to the player as well as the team. That does not repeat again. But that warning is not just for the players, the warning is also for all of the viewers who are very active in the comment section. Like what you've heard, gentlemen, and I talk about earlier on. It is great. It is absolutely fine to say great things about your own team, but try not to, talk down the other teams out there. You don't really need to put others down in order to feel better about the performance of your own squad. And at the end of the day, it is the duty of the players to perform out there and to shut mouths up. We, as the viewers, don't really hold much control over that now, do we, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no points in there being gathered by the teams for the amount of comments in there being put out against a different team. So
Yeah.
it would really help if it would be a good conversation in the comment section to bring in a lot more of viewers out there and not to throw away the opportunity for a community, our community, to grow because of those toxic comments in the comment section.
But we'll let you know. We will let you know if Garena one day decides to, take into account toxic comments and give extra points for the teams. We will inform you. But for the time being, it's not happening just yet. So calm down in the comment section. Show a lot of love, show a lot of respect to the teams out there. Once again, because it cheapens the victory of your own team if you are the one doing the trash talking and your team even ends up winning. But if your team does not end up winning and then you're doing all of the trash talking out there and a lot of toxic comments, and then, you make your team a little bit easier to be made fun of, So I don't know why you guys want that for yourselves and as well as the team that you support. But I would highly discourage that behavior. But moving on with the competition, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the leaderboard that we want to see. It is exactly how we see if or not these teams are improving, climbing up slowly. And it looks like the Vagabonds Nomads have done fantastic so far. 2 matches, 2 victories, 66 points. The consistency is mind-blowing. And right behind them stands Vagabonds Esports with the 20 points to their side. 46 points below their own brothers, Vagabonds Nomads. This is just a shocker. Very slowly, Phoenix rising up as well as they should. No pun intended. 17 points and the 3rd spot. NRX 420, with their performance in match number 2, have managed to climb up to that 4th position, but they have to stay a little bit careful with all of their approaches. Almighty Prime, on the other hand, amazing round number 1. But in round number 2, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we did see them falter just a little bit. Just 1 single kill with 0 placement points, which means they will allow NRX 420 to take their spot. Right below them, Easy Reborn Esports Magna, followed by STPH Generals as well as TNC Supremo, Neptune.
On the other side, we have Cerulean Legion right now taking 11 points to their name, placement of 5 as well as 6. On Royal Kings, they are getting a lot of kills out there, but also with a placement point, looks like they are being killed early into the match.
Yeah.
Same goes for Alpha Ape Wrath, who are only getting those 1 placement point, and we are talking about 2 rounds already into the game, 1 in isolated and 1 in blackout. So the placement needs to move together, or at least it is close proximity to the kill points for you to be able to move up, as we've seen so far from some of the teams who came from the bottom and started moving up. Now, 432 also needs to do the same as we move Helixus Vicious, TNC Emperor, Sigra Poseidon, as well as Kicks PH or KPH Wicked needs to, they need to put up a lot of effort to be able to climb up in the leaderboard, because with the points that they're getting, they are being left behind, especially as Vagabonds and Nomads are in there getting a lot of points just for their team.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And Vagabonds Nomads, they have shocked us twice, but can they continue? So far, we have seen the 3rd-person perspective, and the next 2 matches that we will witness, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, will also allow us to check out the 1st-person perspective as well, the first-player perspective. And as in terms of FPP, we have seen teams struggle even in semifinals 1. Would that be the same for Vagabonds Nomads this time around as they hop on into the battle, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? We will see. As we kick things off at Isolated, it will be the flight path that cuts through Pier right down into Heat. And if there's anything that we've seen from NRX 420 so far, they should be hopping immediately out and straight down into downtown.
Yeah, downtown is the first home that they took on when they started off on Isolated, and that I think will be the same thing that they will be taking right now. But back into Nuketown, we have a Team N as well as a Team G, that is the Royal Kings and HPE Phoenix, who will be battling it out for the Nuketown, or probably just to grab that chopper. We'll have to see later on as we move forward into the game. But the rest of the teams are all spread out up north. Only Team O, this is NRX Efficients 432, who are prioritizing and getting a loot as well as a butcher from what we've seen earlier on the previous match of Isolated.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And, as all of the teams hop on out there will be a team that shares a drop spot. And unfortunately for whoever that is, they will find the players of Vagabonds Esports. Another close encounter here as well for He Phoenix, as the players from Team N, the one and only Royal Kings, shares the exact same compound with them. And the chopper just a little bit closer to the Kings, which means they can just grab it and get away from this compound immediately and try to loot up another area, not risk a lot of those early engagements in here.
Yeah, I mean, they do not need to risk this because the nuclear plant is a huge area wherein they can take both parts of this map, as well as with the introduction of the FPP into this mix, it will be a little bit too slow. So for those who are just adjusting, and yeah, we're not just talking about for the whole entirety of the Garena Call of Duty mobile scene that they haven't used it. We're talking about how they jumped into qualifiers and being introduced with the FPP game. And they need to be a little bit more smart into the approach and not that aggressive, because it's really, really very different from what we see on the TPP.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And, we have seen teams surge on in FPP as well. And the one that we have to highlight would be the Four Kings. To them, not only does it feel like FPP is not slowing them down, but they perform better on FPP. This is the mind-blowing part. Like, how long have they been going in there and grinding on FPP? I don't know, but the strategy to do so turns out to be the most positive one. And it looks like the Royals did not get out of there, but instead they want to shut down He Phoenix. And it's going to be Sucre, the final player, who stays alive and backs away from that engagement. And just when you thought the Royal Kings would want to pick the chopper up and move away to loot up a different area, they say, hell no. Not only do we stay, but we take the fight. And they force the final player to back away from the site. And He Phoenix now, they will all be waiting for their final player to grab those dog tags. But will it be a very tough situation to recover those dog tags from? It's all in the hands of the Royals here, Neptune, on whether or not they choose to guard them.
Yeah, I mean, most of the teams out here, especially when they have the momentum already of getting a lot of kills, knowing that there's only one member remaining, a lot of teams are taking advantage of the waiting game. And I think the position of this team is still in a good spot, be able to wait and gain those dog tags. Now, going back to the point of the FPP and the TPP, I think from what you mentioned about the Four Kings, they exploited the fact that a lot of teams are adjusting. Plus, if they have practiced already a lot on FPP, then they will be able to utilize that, thus increasing their chance of taking the win in this mode wherein some of the teams are just trying to catch up.
I absolutely agree, and that was a brilliant strategy played by the Four Kings. Nobody has been able to match up to their supremacy within semifinals one just yet when it came to the place of FPP. Let's see if we see a little bit of promise inside of semifinals too. This is going to be Group B, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and as all of those players continue to hunt for kills out there, the one team that has been really solid with their hunt so far, with a total of 46 kills to their name, is the Vagabonds Nomads. Impressive play so far, but KPH Wicked, on the other hand, they have truly been suffering in the competition. Only 3 points to their name at the very moment, and that 3 points was pulled off from Isolated through the kills. Placement has been absolute zero so far, and that's something that they need to sort out.
Yeah, I mean, they need to sort it out right now, right here, right now, because moving into FPP, there's a chance for them to, as we mentioned, exploit the fact that the teams are slowing down with this perspective. And if they will be able to focus more on the rotations that they can take, and actually with the chopper gameplay of Kicks PH, I would think that is risky, because the way it is visible on the map right now brings them or makes them as a target of the team, especially for the surrounding area. Yes, they have a high ground advantage, but from what we've seen from the first 2 rounds, they have not that much on the early or close battle encounter. So they need to probably get a good position with that chopper, and then get those snipers in hand to be able to find out any other members, any other teams from the surrounding area, and then shoot them down one at a time, increasing their kills, the number of kills, also slowly moving into the safe zone to get a good placement.
Absolutely, man. I really cannot wait to see what a player like Alatsky can do against Vagabond. That guy was truly bringing on the supreme pressure on everybody else in the first 3 days of competition, representing the 4 Kings. But the Vagabonds Esports squad, they have been paling in comparison to Nomads today. Yes, although they do hold on to the second spot, they're quite far away from their brothers. Gintaro manages to take down Ron, who was in the vehicle earlier on, but right behind NRX 420 now. Vagabonds Esports might just be able to pull off this backstab. It will be Team K in here for the play, TNC Empress, and all they do is run away from the players of NRX 420. But NRX 420 holding on to their ground. They might just have to face off against Vagabond Esports shortly if they do not leave this compound.
Oh, and there goes the getaway by NRX 420, and I think this is an attempt to chase down DNC, because it's a good thing that Vagabond Esports was able to slowly move in. But one thing that has been that is bad for them is the getaway mission of NRX 420 right here. And as they cut off the exit of TNC, they are in here for the battle, and TNC is not looking good for them just right now.
Yep, Kape throws out the trap. One gets triggered already, but Kintaro was the one that triggered the trap on the side of TNC. Gerard repositions. Kai says goodbye, but Zeus, he pulls out now. His right leg AMR. Can he get the slice? Gerard quickly slides away with the snowboard, and it looks like the team of TNC Empress will be the supreme ones who will run away. Zeus manages to get that hit mark. SMR's attack as well coming through from the players of NRX 420, but the Empress are just a little too slick to get away in this scenario. Zeus sends back the information that there's nobody around them, and NRX 420 can continue moving on and focus on those airdrops instead, because the Empress do not look like they're gonna get caught anytime soon.
Yeah, they will be going away so far that they will not be seen by the snipes of NRX 420. Now, looking in here a little bit too close to each other are 3 teams. We have Alpha Ape right now, Cerulean Legion, as from Helixus Vicious. These teams really need to at least take one team to be able to get a lot of points to move them up in leaderboards, and Cerulean Legion and HE Phoenix are close behind on that spot. So we'll have to find out who among these 2 will be able to get the kill and the advantage onto the leaderboard. But here comes Initsi for the spray, but Amgoy is just too quick to sidestep, but no! Amgoy will be taken down.
Oh yeah, they were dancing the tango with Tangoy there. Apollo now backstab, manages to find Zoro. It is gonna be Sinitsky right in front, and the Alpha Ape Apollo just goes snowboarding right beside Zelensky, not catching him off. Flaffy manages to pick up the dog tag of Shabe on for the quick scan. Essir off screen catches Apollo instead, and now Vagabond Nomad Sinitsky on for the hunt, and Virus, can he infect Sinitsky? Can he take him out of the equation unless Swish swishes him out first? Vagabond Nomad for the hunt. Oh, the guy just manages to slip away. Sinitsky a little too slippery, but Virus infects him in the end.
It's a good pinch that has been done, and this is what I'm talking about. It's not just one who is going in for the rush. It needs at least 2 or 3 just to make sure that one will be taken down, another will be going for backup. And a good smart move as well, as Travis will be left behind, getting information as to anyone who went to back up Vagabonds and Nomads right here. And all they have to do is regroup and wait for the other teams, especially with the dog tags already on the ground in there, to try and pick them up and probably take them down one at a time. But speaking of taking down, we'll have to see who will be taken down between NRX 432 against Vagabonds Esports.
It is going to be blue now with the Arctic 50 Mythic in hand. NRX 432 right in front. Cluster grenade will be popped first. Well-timed one. And NRX 432, they back away. The Nova will push them even further. And they know now that engagement is going to be set. And Vagabond Esports very quickly force NRX 432 to abandon their prime position up top. But Vagabond Nomad, as they continue the fight now, it's going to be the one and only Sigma Poseidon that gets caught in their crosshairs, and Virus continuously infecting one after the other. Wagner gets taken out, and just before that, another squad member of his, as here hits down Tassan, and it looks like Sigma Poseidon might just get extinct right in a couple of seconds. Oda, as he tries to get away, the Jack pulls him into the play and puts him back into the lobby as well.
Oracle's already for Virus right now, and then the remaining two will be spread out against the team. We're seeing another Travis in play right now, because if I'm not mistaken, Travis is the one who popped up in the previous rounds that we've seen, and they are still on the move. But as we can see right now, NRX 432 are running away from the Vagabonds Esports. They don't have a prime position against Vagabonds Esports, but I think from where they started, they have the high ground, and Vagabonds are the ones coming in from the lower ground. So it's like questionable how NRX 432 or Vagabonds Esports was able to put in a little bit of fear for this team, for them to back out.
Absolutely, man. And of course, as the players of Vagabonds Nomads continues to find even Phoenix right now, they do not slow down. But NRX 420 has been spotted out. It's going to be Blue with the mythic Arctic 50 in hand. One shot after the other he can take, but Trigger Discipline will make sure he does not get spotted out before he can take advantage. But the information is now being sent back to the rest of the players of Vagabonds Esports, and they play this patiently. The flank can be pulled off here. As you can see, one player on the side of Vagabonds, Luki, has already pushed on forth. He wants to catch them off guard alongside Nash as well. And Blue still keeping an eye on their positions as they move on slowly. This is the master strategy set up by Vagabonds Esports, but they have not struck just yet, even though they had a clear opening earlier on. But that decision is going to be a solid one, Neptune, because the rest of their players were just a little bit too far to finish off. And obviously, NRX 420 would have just been able to pick up their players and back away. And this is one of the reasons why Vagabonds Esports are one of the most dangerous teams out there on the battlefield. Not looking for cheap kills, not looking for quick points, but really strategizing before they go in for the attack. And that's how we find them at the final circles all the time.
Yeah, and they strategize. Once they engage, they take out the whole squad, not just one. And a smart move as well. And imagine the discipline with the Blue in there already with the target inside, trying and waiting hard for the perfect opportunity. But this time, Blue was able to take the shot. And well, I think that he knows already that no one from his team will be in a disadvantage, just in case his team will be out in, or the information will be relayed as to where their positions are.
And Blue now, as he continues hunting on for all of them. It's not going to be an easy task up there. Up top, but NRX 420 OG now spotting out a player at that. NRX 432, they're not going to take those shots just yet. Just like what we saw out of Vagabonds Esports earlier on. This patience, trigger discipline, will make sure they don't give away their hideout, their screen position. Nobody knows that NRX 420 is going to strike from the top just yet. And only one kill so far is not going to be something that NRX 420 worries about, because they are looking for that final circle, Neptune.
And this is a more of a different approach to what we keep talking about. If in case you are being taken out earlier on because of the aggression that you're doing, go for the placement first, get the feel of the situation, get the feel of how the rotations of the other teams are. And I'm pretty sure they are not just rotating blindlessly. They are open eyes looking out as to where the other teams are rotating, as well as the gunshots that has been done. Thus, they can rotate as well towards a favorable spot for them. But another favorable spot for Vagabonds Nomads right now is to go against Easy Reward, who is in the top of the hill and slowly being taken down.
Vagabonds Nomads, no chill. They are are not slowing down. In fact, they are just stepping up the pace. And now the players of EZR, they get away from Vagabonds Nomads, but they find themselves right in front of SDPH. Sphinx gets caught out. Easy shot by Panot, but he quickly repositions as he takes the wrong engagement. Doesn't slide behind the vehicle, but instead flies away with his pumped glass. And now Sphinx as well as Dustin, they had to deal with SDPH, so they could not continue running away from Vagabonds Nomads, which pauses them, which holds them in this compound. And the finisher now from the side of Vagabonds Nomads can be possible. But will SDPH capitalize on this situation? Pressure Vagabonds Nomads, Virus all tagged up already, and the zone now pushes them through as well. SDPH saving the lives of Easy Reborn Esports Magna.
It's a 1-3 split right now being done by Vagabonds Nomads. One being left behind, that is Swish, just to get information if any footsteps will be right behind them. And that's a smart move from them, because in knowing that there's a lot of teams already surrounding them at this point, gunshots has been fired and the information has been relayed. We'll have to find out how well will they be able to get the prime position that they need to go in for the rush. But for this time, as we keep mentioning, FPP brings in a different team right now, a different perspective for the team, as they are not going in for the third party that quickly because they don't have a clear 360 view of their surrounding.
Vagabonds Nomads still striking down players from the side of EZR, man. These guys no chill. These guys not slowing down at all. And Travis catches the final player of EZR. Insane plays by Vagabonds Nomads as usual, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. 12 kills in here so far. And it looks like the players of KPH are going to get caught out as well. It's going to be Aki who holds back from Swish, not engaging just yet. Swish, on the other hand, just holding on to the edge of the circle, gatekeeping anyone who jumps on inside. As Vagabond Nomads, they continue to focus on picking up all of these kills aggressively before getting into the final circle.
And as we move in on the final circle, or the circle moves in against the team, we have to find out who will be surviving, because we have 11 teams remaining, but Almighty is being taken down one at a time. SDPH right here is battling in right now on their way into the safe zone. So those quick movement with that snowboard will be helpful, but will that be the loss of the team as they leave them behind, knocked down, and dog tags not in play? But it is Almighty right now trying to move in here, trying to put in their pressure into the house of NRX 420. Will that work? That is a question, as Vagabonds Nomads, as you mentioned, are not slowing down and they are still on the hunt.
And Almighty is still slaying, even though they only have two more players on their side. Chibi as well as Chase, this deadly duo, can definitely bring on the pressure. But with the circle now leaving them, it might just force an error out of the Almighty Prime squad. Esir, great takedown onto Aki. Virus, on the other hand, moving in for the shutdown onto Big. And time is running out for Big as he runs outside of the zone. Virus not stopping at all, continues the pressure, but doesn't want to hop on outside of the circle. Swish, on the other hand, cutting off the access of Big. Travis together with Virus, they will reposition on top of the hill. Bake, as he recovers a little bit of his HP, jumps on right outside. Is he going to be able to survive this? Esir finds him, and everybody just eats this guy up totally. Vagabonds Nomads, no chill.
No chill right now, and they don't get away from each other. This is the position, the prime position, the regrouping of Vagabonds Nomads right now, that we are seeing them all together, all regroup, even if they are going in with just one member. There's no slowing them down because they don't want to be a loss with one member left behind. But as we can see right now, we have NRX 420 with Kintaro left behind in here, and this is a good position for him to get information, but that in there will put in the final bullet into one of the members of 420, putting them at the disadvantage.
Absolutely, man. 4-3-2, not pausing even a single second. Immediately finding the players of NRX 420, shutting them down. Swala takes the prone at the very wrong moment, but manages to survive because of the smoke bomb that was popped. Boji now making sure nobody catches up with him. Cho gets knocked down onto the ground, and the wonder kick Boji still managing to impress as usual. Repositions right up top on top of the roof. Luki now taking those shots from afar. He will be able to find the players of NRX 420, but Boji gets taken down by the zone out in the open. You can know that the players of Vagabonds Esports should be able to take very quick advantage of the situation now, Neptune.
And the very difficult spot, I mean, the very difficult thing about having to be passive in the FPP scene is you will be beating up a lot of people in here in the final circle, and with only limited people, it's very difficult to just turn around and point and shoot. And that is one reason why they need to get a good position to be able to gun down anyone from below. But we'll have to see who will be able to survive this. So far, we still have 4 teams remaining and 7 soldiers alive. But Zeus will be, or Blue will be taken down in there by Zeus, and still a chance for NRX 420 right there.
Oh, yes, absolutely, sir. But this is Vagabonds Esports. They need to deal with Vagabonds Nomads later on as well. Lukey, the final player on the side of Vagabonds Esports, manages to knock Chase down onto the ground, out of the equation now. NRX 420 still have got Carpe and Zeus right in front. Lukey, can he secure this with the Odin? And it will be a little bit of pressure on Zeus now as the circle continues to move. It is going to be the one and only Cerulean Legion once again with the consistency, trying to stay alive. But Carpe is engaging with them first. And Cerulean takes on NRX 420, whereas Vagabonds Esports will back away from that engagement. Sinitsky takes Zeus out of the equation. Lukey shuts down Sinitsky, and it is Vagabonds Esports with the victory.
A smart move by Lukey in there. I mean, just backing out of that fight. He don't want to be caught off guard, pulling them in on Cerulean, and NRX 420 went in for the battle out there as Lukey is just going in, slowly creeping in the middle of the final safe zone. Thus, the win goes to Vagabonds Esports for round number 3.
And the Vagabonds clan as a whole just maintaining dominance, maintaining their supreme hold of aggression over all of the other teams. If it's not the Nomads, it is going to be Vagabonds Esports. But impressive for NRX 420 to get into that final circle. They're very slowly catching up in terms of dominance. Let's see if they can keep this up, because a lot to prove out there, because the talk has been done. It is now time to walk, Neptune.
Yeah, they need time to walk. Well, in this case, they need to run. They need to run and try to outdo everyone else, because a lot has been done already by the Vagabonds brand, not just Esports, as well as the Nomads, and they need to at least catch up or overtake them. But looking at the post-game breakdown right now, we have Vagabonds Esports in there taking 9 points in this game, plus the additional win replacement point of 10, bringing them to a different level when it comes to trying to catch up with their brothers. And looking for their brothers, they are there left behind at number 6. But with the kills that they gathered, they will not be too far behind, AJ.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And, you know, as you can see here, the performance out of all of the teams in comparison to Vagabonds Nomads when it comes to the kills seems to, you know, be very, very, very much subdued. 15, 17 kills overall from Vagabonds Nomads in that 6th spot should be more than enough to launch them right back beside their brothers, Vagabonds Esports. And Vagabonds Nomads will continue to hold on with a dominant fashion to that number 1 spot overall on the leaderboards, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, we will see yet another team who will show us great aggression and as well as smart gameplay coming from Vagabonds Nomads, because so far, comparing to the brothers who have shown great consistency from other tournaments as well as the qualifiers, I think I haven't pointed it out that they have gone in there and take the highest points from this group, of the semifinals and each qualifier rounds that they went into. And talking about consistency, that is what we're expected from Vagabonds Esports. But on the flip side, it is Vagabonds Nomads. We're showing us that we're asking from the butters. So I don't know what's happening right now. Probably Vagabonds Esports are just taking slow. And as we keep mentioning, day 1 is a day of study, and they are just studying how well will they be able to go and take everyone out, if they will be able to execute.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Vagabonds Esports, are chilling because they have got nothing to prove. As long as they qualify for the grand finals, that's where the big moolah is. That's where they really have to get down and dirty and, go out there and prove themselves. Because, one of the main points that we did talk about, Neptune, is, going in and studying the other teams. Who do you think the team that everybody wants to study is? It's going to be Vagabonds Esports, the kings of kings, the king of kings of Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale right now is the one and only Vagabonds Esports. And it looks like on the first day, they just don't want to show the strategies. They don't want to show exactly what they bring on to the table. So, nobody can start to formulate the counterplay against them. And I think that's going to be brilliant, right? Because on the grand finals, setup that comes through later on, that's exactly where we will see them pop off through their true ability. But Vagabonds Nomads, on the other hand, these boys are hungry to prove themselves out there on the battlefield, and they have got the skills to do exactly that.
Yeah, I mean, knowing the performance of Vagabonds Esports, I won't be surprised if they are holding back because, as
Yeah,
you mentioned, all they have to do is get to the top 8, and then later on they can pop off. Wherein everyone was expecting or will be expecting that they've already died down in terms of placement as well as skills because of the performance that they've done on the semifinals. And yeah, there's no question about that. They will be able to deliver. I'm really, really glad as well that the Nomads, Backbones Nomads, are popping off and getting a highlight from their own. And
yeah.
just for the semifinals, getting away from the shadow of their brothers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And, as Vagabonds Esports would show us, they are not gonna, slow down things way too much. They still have the ability to step on up and grab that number one spot. And they will continue fighting for it either way. Luki was the final player surviving here for the side of Vagabonds Esports. And as he wanted to go in for the engagement, he realized that 5 players out there could either mean one full squad going up against him or 2 different teams. And thankfully, it's Sinitsky as well as James that started the shots off against Scape that made him realize that, okay, you know what? I just have to stay a little bit calm, a little bit cool and collected at the very edge of the zone. And he did exactly that. And Luki finally grabs that victory as he takes Sinitsky out of the equation. Sinitsky with the war machine, but it would be Vagabonds Esports with the victory.
I mean, smart move indeed. They already have the points they need for the kills. All they have to do is just get a little bit more. And I would say if he will be able to get the second place, not the win, it's still good for them. But this time with that, because of the lure that has been placed by Cerulean pulling in NRX 420, Luki has plenty of time and was just chilling away in there for
Yeah.
that win.
Absolutely, man. And, he didn't really need to rush out at all. And that's one of the main highlight points about Vagabonds Esports, right? Never in a rush to sort anything out. Always just taking the cool, calm, collected route. And usually it does serve them up pretty cool, man. But of course, to all of you, thank you so much for supporting this broadcast. As usual, here is the rare wish crate. I saw a few comments that said that it was already expired by the time we went to break. So remember, guys, this is a limited giveaway, which means first come, first serve. Grab that screenshot, immediately move into the redemption center and get that rare wish crate for yourself and collect as many as you can. You know exactly how these crates work. And good luck to you, buddy. Good luck to get the item that you want out of it.
Yeah, I should use that term. First come, first serve. Because the
Yeah.
limited might have been like it has, or it has a different
Just
meaning for
same
the
thing,
team,
buddy.
for
Same
everyone.
thing.
So pretty much the same thing. Yeah, but first come, first serve is more of something common,
Yeah,
especially for
yeah.
us Filipino. But for those on a note, we have just ended yet another round of this battle. That is round
Yep.
number 3 that we have seen. That is one of the FPP modes that we will be jumping into. Up next will be another FPP and a different map. So hopefully different tactics from this team, but it's yet to be seen as we will be taking a break. So hopefully you don't go away. Stick with us right there as we come back later on. Welcome back to the Garena Survivors first Garena Survivors semifinals day number 4, where we have seen already 3 rounds in there halfway through all throughout the day, and we have seen how the Vagabonds and Nomads has already dominated this whole day, just with the kill points as well as the aggressiveness that they have done. Vagabonds Esports on the other hand was able to catch up as well with a win on the
Yep.
third round. The question is, AJ, how much will be offered on to the next point? We are at your service in the caster desk. I am Neptune the Gentleman Garcia. Together with me is amazing mustachio AJ. And AJ, what are the expectations that you have on this round number?
For other teams apart from Vagabonds to find that #1 spot, man. I mean, what else would it be? I mean, obviously, Vagabonds are truly, truly talented out there on the battlefield, but we see no other appearance from those teams aggressive in terms of grabbing those kills, aggressive in terms of keeping up the consistency. Yes, indeed, NRX 420 has managed to get into the final circle, but we do see some, very, very small sparks of supremacy coming out from certain teams. For example, Easy Reborn, Esports Magna, who can take those engagements, but befall in terrible situations where they try to disengage and just end up getting into the hands of another team. And, we also have seen a spark of, I guess, potential coming through from E Phoenix in the competition so far. But overall, we just don't see anybody else stepping it up the same way as the consistent Vagabonds do. But that being said, Cerulean Legion did make quite a bit of progress in the previous matchup. Let's take a quick look at the leaderboard and see exactly how the teams fare at the moment.
Yeah, as we look right now, as mentioned already, we have Vagabonds Nomads in there with a huge lead. And I would say huge lead in there with the points. That's 85 already against Vagabonds Esports, with not even reaching half of it. So this is already the momentum that the Nomads have from them, and who will be able to catch up, we'll still have yet to find out. Vagabonds Esports bagging one of the win in this game. That will be from round number 3. How long will be able to play this as they are trying to hold back on the performance as we assumed earlier into the game, AJ.
No, yeah, absolutely, man. And, looking at the lineup here as Vagabonds Esports hold on to that #2 spot, there can be quite a bit of effort that's required from the side of Almighty Prime to catch up with them. But hot on the heels of Almighty Prime now is NRX 420, just a single point behind. And Cerulean Legion, like I said, this team has stepped it up. This team has managed to find a little bit of consistency out there on the battlefield, and now they bring it into play when it comes to those FPP gameplay as well. We did see them bag 10 kills along with 6 placement points earlier on, which is truly impressive. But of course, we need to see more out of them in terms of consistency as well as performance at the TPP side as well. It will be followed by SDPH Generals as well as TNC Supremo with 21 as well as 18 points apiece at that 6th and 7th spot. And He Phoenix, although they are impressive out there with some of their engagements, like I said, just like Easy Reborn Esports Magna, they seem to be struggling with some of their battles out there, as luck just doesn't seem to be on their side at the moment, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, from what you mentioned about Easy Reborn, they have a good placement already from the start, from round number 1, and then started to dwindle on round number 2. This time, they were able to get back up a little bit, but still needs a little bit more of effort from all these teams, especially for those who wants to secure the top 8 spot. And we know how close it is, AJ, how close the 7, 8, 9, and 10 spot is with these teams from what we've seen from the first set of semifinals. And hopefully these teams are already smartened up and will be making those adjustments earlier into this day before reaching that level where it's already too late.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, as we hop on into the battle, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you support and scream out for your teams in the comment section as they do battle with each other. The flight path this time around a little merciless as it cuts through towards the left-hand side of the map from Lighthouse all the way down towards construction side. Reaching out to places like Turbine as well as Asylum will be quite the stretch, but not impossible. As you can see, it will be the one and only He Phoenix making a straight beeline for that spot, but also will be followed by 2 other squads. This is going to be a GG play at Turbine. Everybody wants the chopper.
Yeah, everybody wants that chopper, and that is AJ Phoenix right now. I think they have been followed by Secret Phoenix in there, and it's a good thing that NRX432 has left that area as well, because that's where they started when they jump in on to Blackout. But we'll have yet to see how they are doing right there. But right now, Vagabonds and Nomads, this is solo on their own. They have a chopper in play and several layers of the construction site to get all those loots. This is a prime position, I would say, for a team just like this to be able to prepare for the battle upward.
Yes, Travis continues to loot up. They're not going to be disturbed at all, but NRX432 will soon find out the hard way, potentially, as Phoenix slowly approaches their position. And that might be caught out here. Merc, as he hops on out very carefully, very patiently on the approach through this door now. As he opens up the shutters, the players of NRX432 jump on out of that warehouse, and they will take the position at the very back. Bird has got no armor on him, but yet they aggressively take this fight on. Poseidon might just be the one who takes the third-party position in here and bags both of these teams out as they engage so early on.
NRX432, when I thought that they already left this place, just went back, but with the addition of Secret Poseidon, will be in a pinch. They have been pinched already and losing one of the members one at a time with only one left. But this time, it will go to Secret Poseidon and AG Phoenix right now, as Poseidon has the higher ground, but the glide is on the backstab. Again, Super will be there. Will be taken down. Merc right now will be the next target, but Merc will be down. Goes to the wrath of Secret Poseidon right there.
Absolutely, man. Biscuit, just no chill whatsoever as he drops on in there, gets one knock, immediately flies through. I thought he made a mistake, but HE just didn't respond in that situation at all. Biscuit wasn't taken down. There was another team member out of Poseidon that immediately hopped on up, and the player that was in the backstab position, this little dog tag here, he got taken down, and Biscuit would go ahead to survive. But there is no full wipe just yet, as we did see one surviving player get away. But as anticipated, Secret Poseidon quickly takes over the situation as the third-party team and walks away with the most number of kills in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, they have 4 kills already. Most of it coming in from AG Phoenix, and some as well coming in from NRX432. So I don't think anyone from NRX432, especially the one that got away, will be able to come in here that quickly. But it's a good thing as well. It's a good chance for them. The moment that Secret Poseidon will be peeling out the chopper right now, and objective gameplay, they already have the kills, and all they have to do is focus on the loot as well as the airdrop, as we keep mentioning earlier. But this time, I think another hunt is on, because one will be sighted on that
Almighty Prime. As they continue to search for a couple of victims out there on the battlefield, they realize that they might be able to find one, but immediately hopped on to upgrade their chips first. All of those classes, once upgraded, will just make Almighty Prime even more prime for that battle that they will be encountering in a little bit. One player from the side of HE was spotted out already, but I don't know if GB is going to go in for that aggressive push. They have got no information, just like how we do. There's only one player there, and therefore it's not going to be an aggressive push solo from him. Usually you see some players just super aggressive solo. They spot one guy out, and next thing you know, out comes a snowboard, and they're hunting the player down, only for that situation to turn around so quickly, Neptune.
Yeah, but I think the teams right now, we're starting to feel that the FPP has really hit them so hard that they are not that aggressive. Not aggressive to the point that they will just go in solo, and as well as the highest fraggers that we have in here, wherein they really regroup every time they go in for the rush. They don't go in a risky position to be taken out in the open, and then later on, it's like falling in line and auditioning for the kills. That is not the chance for Vagabonds. No match, but the Vagabonds are Esports right now. Nash spraying Pierre right down, and we'll have to see how much more will the TNC be able to take the damage from Vagabonds Esports.
See, very slowly. Supremo now backing away from that engagement. Sean just not going to be able to back away from Blue as Blue tries to bag 2. Niana taken down by Yato. Blue kind of misses out on that opportunity by just a little bit, but I don't think the guy will complain overall. As long as the team gets those kill points up on the leaderboard, that's all they are going to be focusing on. TNC, on the other hand, TNC Empress. Careful, very slowly edging on closer to their compound. It is going to be the players from the one and only Helix Vicious. Not so great in the competition so far. 10 points overall, but they might just be looking for a little bit more on the players of DNC. A good cluster now dropped out, but Cloud is not going to be catching anyone just yet. Kintaro finds the God Nade to catch out Omega from the side of Royal. That's happening off screen, and we hop on right into that battle. Zeus tries to shut down Hangin, but he turns around, takes him out of the equation. Boji takes Del Duty out of the equation. Carpe for the chase, but Carpe himself gets backed out by Frost, and it looks like Royal's not going to be that easy to shut down here. NRX 420, they only have Kintaro now to depend on. Can they find a pickup here? Omega will be finished off, but Kintaro a little bit too far away from Boji for the save.
Here comes Kintaro right now for the surprise hit. That is, but there goes being thrown, and Kintaro will be taken down. I think that was a mistake using that grenade right there, but unfortunate for Jam. NRX of 420 making a bad a takedown. I mean, mistake to be taken down by the Royal Kings, but this time it's KPH will be rushing in after hearing those gunshots, but I don't think Royal Kings has recovered all so far, as Hangin is the only one on 1v4.
Exactly what KPH is going to pull off in here as they go while the iron is just hanging by the window, ready to jump right out if in case he does get pressured, and right beside him will be the door. And Aki steps on forth and he just fires wildly into the smoke, but Hangin catches him out. And now trap set out already. Hangin, final player in for the mix, needs to pick up the dog tag, will be able to do exactly that and scan his team members right back in here before it is too late. Hangin now, one more player for the Cat gets caught in that trap, but one by one he scans his players, and Del Cutie right back in the mix. The next one is gonna be Frost. But as Del Cutie hops on right back, he moves on downstairs. That might just be the final move from coming through from Del Cutie, but he manages to get his guns because the rest of the players from the side of KPH Wicked have already moved out of that compound, giving now Royals the advantage once again. But it's still a 3v2 here, Neptune.
And then there goes Hangin and Del Cutie. When we thought Hangin will be able to survive because of the movement that he's shown, I think Del Cutie was able to drag him down, I would say, because of coming back in there with not that much, going in a pressure situation against a Kicks PH, and this time with the 7 kills already by KPH, there's a great chance for this team to slowly move up. And from what we keep saying, AJ, I think this is one of the team who has been very, very good on the FPP, or not really very, very good, but performing well compared to the TPP that they played so far.
Absolutely, man. And you know, this is one of those surprise setups here coming through from KPH, as the Royal Kings very efficiently took out NRX 420 earlier on. And it was a situation where they could have kind of controlled, because we did see the very smart use of the Trap Master. But ever since the adjustment has been brought in, the Trap Master is no longer as deadly as it used to be. If at all, if this was still on that old setup of Trap Master, man, there's no way KPH would have been able to survive that. Because at one point, all 3 players had triggered the trap already, and it would have been a GGWP at that moment. But thankfully, because the Trap Master has been quite subdued in terms of ability to slow players down, in terms of aggression, it just works against the Royal Kings instead. Gonna be easier this time, as we see a very quick use and smart use of that rewind class coming through. The Supreme Apes right in front of them, the one and only Alpha Ape Wrath. Let's see exactly what they've got to bring into this matchup, because it looks like everybody just wants to stay in their own compound and not engage in a few.
And as we look right now, we have Vagabonds and Nomads right now. Travis still on a roll, starting it off with 1 kill. Well, not on a roll, this are just starting it on the kills department, though there's already 5 that has been taken down. Now, earlier, I can't help but think, AJ, when you were giving out that comment about the Trap Master, you were smiling in there. How wide your smile is. Because you mentioned how you hated the Trap Master of before, and this time with the nerf that has been done with the Trap Master, the changes that has been done with the Trap Master, it is really up there, not really putting up some damage and not so annoying as you hated.
Absolutely, man. Which is why I said if the Trap Master was still the old Trap Master, 1v3, no problems. He would have been able to back that out. Ooh, Cho now in trouble as EPR's next finds him, but just behind the boulder, Cho still managed to avoid all of those gunfire. I don't know intentionally or not, but he still does miss all of them by a mile. And now EZR, he does have a little bit of backup in here, but the chopper is not going to be picking him up at all. They're going to move on straight and then get the chopper blown up. Interesting moves coming through from Easy Reborn Esports Magna.
Yeah, I mean, the plan of Easy Reborn right now, if I'm not mistaken, is they're just going into the edge of the safe zone, slowly moving in and to the next circle after circle, with the information gameplay being done by the chopper. But the chopper being taken down, they will be put in a difficult spot out in the open with all desert surrounding them, and they need to slowly traverse that hill down to wherever that everyone has already taken their place. And I think that is Rivertown that we're looking at right now.
It is going to be Rivertown where the circle leads all of these players into it. So you can see there are already 3 teams inside, 2 of those green airdrops available, which is going to make the next circle a hot contested area. But it will be to the advantage of DNC Supremo. As long as they can get to those airdrops first, they don't need to pick up anything from the airdrop just yet, but they can make sure that they set up a trap for anyone that does approach. NRX 432 still has got 3 players on their side. Swala, as he got taken down a little bit earlier, did not manage to make it right back in here. But the rest of the players might still be able to make a quick work out of the players in Team LTNC Supremo. But it's all depending on who goes in here to strike first, Neptune. Once again, the ones who are in the favorite spot to perhaps walk away with the best of the situation will be the ones closest to that airdrop.
Yeah, and one difficult thing is these teams are just aiming for the airdrop and the itch these crush right now. So I think they are just waiting to hear the footsteps, to get the information, then take them down, and then be able to get those the loot from their airdrop. But we'll have to find out how disciplined they are right now. Similar to what we've seen from Vagabonds, and Vagabonds has a good position to strike SDPH. But given the situation that Vagabonds Esports has a different team on the other side as well that we need to focus into, they will be backing out, getting a good position against Almighty Prime, and I think Jace is on. Once they regroup, they might be able to take at least one of the teammates, especially the ones that has been left behind.
Better with 4 kills, and they will be able to find the Alpha Ape. Will they make sure the apes go extinct in this lobby? We will find out shortly, as AMT, they throw that vehicle away into the waters and they hop on into a compound to control. Nobody's going to challenge them just yet. Vagabonds Nomads, on the other hand, 2 kills. A little bit different from the aggressive previous rounds, but make no mistake, they will be finding those kills in a little bit. Ron has been spotted out, but the trigger discipline from Travis makes sure he does not pop off just yet, allowing Ron to run straight towards him. And now Travis strikes, and that is why Vagabonds Esports are just a little dangerous. But unfortunately for Travis, it is the zone that claims the kill.
a little bit too late in there for the fire. I mean, just one hit, at least one hit, that will be a point for their side. But one thing that we're seeing right now is the slowdown of Vagabonds Nomads. So this is what we keep pointing out, as the FPP really affects the gameplay of the most aggressive team. And here we go, we have brothers going against each other. We'll have to find out who will survive.
All Vagabonds now. Blue taken down. Lukey out of the equation as well. Virus turns around and makes sure Lukey will not be picked right back up. Nash and Yato right in front, and Vagabonds Nomads, they move on in for the strike. Travis just a little bit closer, but out of nowhere, SDPH joins the equation as well. They take the knock onto Esir. It will be at the very edge of the circle. Nova for the cover. Very, very few times do you actually see that happening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But defensively, the Nova still does work as it obscures the vision of the teams right in front. But Swish now going to get swished out of the equation as Apes go in for the strike, and Vagabonds Nomads lose one of their prime players.
And hopefully Ape will not be phased by the side of that kill feed. One has been taken down already for the Vagabonds Nomads, and Ape will need to get a good position. And the position has been split right now, and Travis is come into play. Soltov has been taken out. I think it's already balanced between all with this new team. Here comes Sage. You will be taken down, and Sage with a virus infection will be taken out. Now we still have 3 members for Vagabonds Nomads from Ape. Apes right now will be aping out of control as Gamori will be knocked out and taken down from that roof.
Yeah, Virus is just unstoppable, man. He is just infecting player after player. And now Vagabonds Esports, nowhere else to run. Nash will be caught out, put down onto the ground. And Virus continues to infect, and he continues to annihilate. Travis shuts down Yatho. Vagabonds Esports out of the equation. It is all now in the hands of the Vagabonds Nomads to grab this victory as well. But there will be a backstab being set up now. Alpha, Abra, they are still alive and kicking. One more player just beside them. Adrop right in front. Will Vagabonds Nomads head on for that and get backstabbed, or will they continuously play a safe game? For the time being, you can see Virus, he needs a couple of more golden mods on his side. KPH, as we switch on our sides over to them, they will have to take on SDPH, who are very slowly enroaching their compound here, taking position up top on the roof first, Neptune.
Yeah, we have a good position for the side of KPH, but will it be broken? SDPH right now, smoke has been released. Calibe is going in on the other side, trying to break off or cut off anyone who will be exiting. But no, KPH will stay and in control, will not leave that position of this compound. SDPH is just on the roof with the risk of being gunned down later on. But here comes the safe zone, who will be pushing everyone away into the hands of NRX 432, and there goes Calibe, who was able to take down so high, and so high will be in there so low right now as he waits to be picked up or probably recovered. But damn, Scally will also be taken down. It's now left to Aki AJ for KXP8.
Yeah, and Queasy just managing to get the shutdown from the back. NRX 432 still alive and kicking as they slowly move on towards the compound of DNC. It's a 3v4 situation here. DNC, Sean returns fire. Clyde gets caught out right after that, drops Niana. But Sean does not allow the rest of his team members to get taken down, but Pierre pays them a little bit of a visit as well. It is gonna be the one and only Dad that shuts down Cho, as well as Dad. Pierre with the supreme kills, and he picks Niana right back up. Sean is the one who will be picked up here in this situation. No, it is Niana, but Sean gets picked up by another player, the one and only Paquito, and it looks like Team L, DNC Supremo, will go on to the next circle. Full squad.
It's a good thing for TMC Supremo right now. They have been left behind on the TMC teams to be able to climb up the leaderboard with the kills that they have right now, as well as the positioning that they can take advantage. They will be able to move up. This time, Vagabonds Nomads with 3 members going against SDPH. We'll have to see how well will they be able to go in against this push. But here we go, as they're taking down Breezy right now, and it's not a breeze. They need to get away because they are covered in smoke. They need to get a better position because a lot of teams will be gunning at them later on.
And yeah, double kill coming through alongside Pierre and Sean. Almighty, they do not stand a chance as DNC now gets attacked by BBN. It's gonna be Virus who gets shut down first, and it looks like he will not be infecting anybody else. Diana, quick pick up. Paquito will be saved, and once again, it looks like DNC Supremo will be ready for a full squad battle later on, and not even Vagabonds Nomads could slow them down. Here, that's the Virus. That's the very first time he tried to go in there for the infection and got shut down. As here now, SDPH's Parnot gets taken out of the equation. He's still not aggressing on, but he is the final player left here for Vagabonds Nomads. But in terms of consistent plays, finishing on that podium finish for this team, they have got the numbers on their side, Neptune.
Yeah, and TNC right now with a chance to gun down anyone in here, but looking at the safe zone, AJ. It might be a water finish just in case everyone will be running through. But here comes as it closes right now. TNC Niana will be taking the lead. Esser will be targeted. And the moment the Esser will be seen, will be gunned down. And here comes the pinch. And Esser in there. They have Makito. But Pierre on the other side. Sphinx. It can still be anyone. But Jaeger and Sphinx will be dying out. Niana and Sean right now on a 1v2 against Esser. Esser is still in there alive, but not so long. TNC Supremo reigns supreme for that round.
Yep, they managed to grab one right back. Supreme with the positioning, Supreme with the combat out there on the battlefield as well, catching out the one and only final player from the side of Vagabonds Nomads off guard. And the 2v1 engagement was solid at the very end. A valiant effort by TNC Supremo Neptune to hold on to their defensive compound as well as shut down anyone who tries to break that. Not aggressing too far out, not really playing their chances at all. The safe gameplay seems to have brought them really far, and they bagged quite a number of kills from their defensive positions as well.
Yeah, I mean, the way they regroup every time one gets knocked down, they get a good position to go for the pickup.
Yeah.
And that is why, that is how as well you survive as a team, especially with aggression that has been shown in there in the final moment where a lot of teams are going against each other. At no point that a team who will be that aggressive will be leaving out with 4 new members or all 4 members. Thus, TNC Supremo has already got that in the bag.
Vagabonds Nomad earlier on, we saw a little bit of light from their side, but now as we hop on in here, that light seems to be a little snuffed out because TNC Supremo managed to shine a little bit brighter. But that is as far as the placement points go, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls. Let's take a quick count here of the kills. A total of 9 kills on the side of TNC Supremo, but on the side of Vagabonds Nomads, they have got a total of 13 kills to their name. Amazing stuff. And the 4 points that we will have between the number 1 and number 2 spot seems to have been matched up here, Neptune.
Yeah, they're all tied in there into the points with the 4-point difference of the kills as well as the placement. And it's still a good run for Vagabonds Nomads. They're still on the top, and there's no pulling them down that easily. We've seen a slow pace from the FPP mode for this team, but how they adapted from the previous round compared to this round, wherein they were able to make it on number 2 as well as with a lot of kills, they're still in there. But the one thing that I would say, salute to Easy Reborn. With the positioning that they're getting, they're still in there, always getting the top 5, or mostly getting the top 5 of the game, but still need to work on the kills department. But this is the study that they are doing right now. And hopefully, AJ, we are on point on them studying first and then later on showing us, because if it's just like this all throughout, I mean, they will be pulled down by other teams who have been progressing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. But I feel like Easy Reborn, this is one of their better performances, right? Because match after match, they seem to be getting better and better. And hopefully that will continuously be the track record for the side of Easy Reborn. NRX 432, on the other hand, they dropped out in the 7th position in here with an overall just 1 kill to their name. That's surely going to hurt them. Heliox Vicious, on the other hand, with that 8th spot with a total of 6 kills. That's going to help them stay alive in the competition and push them up the leaderboard to make sure they maintain or manage to grab onto that top 8 for them. Alpha Ape, 9th position, only 1 kill. But Vagabonds Esports, on the other hand, 4 kills down at that 10th spot. Let's take a quick look at the highlights of this matchup, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because there were a few engagements in there that were absolutely fantastic and some others that might just need a little bit of work. But for the attack, the ambush that was set up here by Sigra Poseidon, it was absolutely solid. They caught the players of HE Phoenix back to back to back, but only Merc was the one player who managed to get away from that situation.
I love how Biscuit in there just point and shot against those other teams, and it's quite surprising that the FPP mode, the sensitivity of the teams who are moving in here are on point just like that. And I think it also requires practice because Call of Duty Mobile has different modes, and going in different modes will allow you to focus on your sensitivity to match it up from TPP as FPP. So
Yeah.
it's a good thing if they were able to prepare already beforehand. Probably not on Battle Royale, but also on multiplayer. But Battle Royale, it is paying off to get into different or to the whole to the entirety of the game, AJ.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And there was just one small misplay there coming through from the final player of NRX 420, dropping the smoke bomb in the worst potential timing, and he got taken out before that smoke bomb even popped. And that was unfortunate. He should have focused a little bit more on repositioning before bringing out the play of his class. But it doesn't matter. We have to fail a few times so that we can bring in those well needed adjustments before the day of the grand finals. Once again, they have to take into account the performance of all teams over 3 different days, 18 matches all together, and that is how we will get the top 8 teams. But for the time being, NRX 420 with some of those mistakes out there, it just seems to be a little bit disappointing from a team that should be able to do so much more. But on the other side, speaking of doing so much more, TNC Supremo were amazing this round, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, apart from sticking together, getting all 4 members in there, they got a lot of kills. They were able to match it up with Vagabond's Nomads when in terms of points, and as well as ending it up. The numbers game really play in provide a good play in this game because with a 1v4 or a 2v4 situation that will be done for either team who are left alive, they can still go in and survive that and will be able to at least have one of the members from their side. Not with a 1v2 that happened right now. It's just a waiting game, and all they have to do is survive and gun down Esser and taking down one of the best teams in this semifinals.
Yeah.
Two, and was able to bring their team up with a placement as well as a good amount of kills.
And I absolutely love the fact that TNC Supremo, they stuck together with each other. It's not like they were not being shot at. It's not like they didn't get taken down one too many times. They were ambushed as well. We did even see Virus take that very aggressive approach to shut down the players of TNC Supremo, but he, made the wrong call there because TNC Supremo, as supreme as they are, in the battle, as they continuously improve themselves, they managed to turn that situation around against Virus himself. Clearly outnumbered, Virus goes down. TNC Supremo just continues to pick their team members back up, and in towards that final circle, they had the game of numbers on their side, and not even Vagabond's Esports Luki could do anything about it. So, awesome play so far. But it's not the end of the day just yet, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This has just been round number 4. We still have got 2 more matches coming up for all of you.
Yeah, 2 more matches right now. But for the viewers out there, I believe we have reached already one of our milestone that we are targeting. And because of that, for thanks to that, you will get the code for the frame freelo in there. Freelo frame, correction, in there. So make sure you take that screenshot and redeem it in game because a lot more will be in here, especially if we give all out support onto the stream as well as a comment section, not pushing away anyone in there for any toxicity. So just welcome everyone who's jumping in there.
Absolutely, man. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for all of your likes. Thank you so much for all of your shares as well. Like Neptune said, keep the chat segment clean, keep it solid, because you don't really want to go out there and really be toxic just yet, once again, because of the reasons I've mentioned earlier, which I will be telling you guys in a bit right after I give the shout out for the Rev Wish Grade as well. This is another giveaway code. This one is supremely limited, so make sure to redeem it as quickly as you can, because I'm going to use names here, right? There are a few NRX fans, supporters who understandably are heated, who want to show their support in the comment section, but you don't see the performance out of NRX 420 out there in the battlefield. And when all of the toxicity goes in hand with non-performance out there, it actually, affects the team negatively out there on the battlefield. So don't do your team a disservice. Be humble in the comment section. Let the players do the talking out there on the battlefield. We'll take a quick short break. and see exactly what all of the players have got in store for us in round number 5. Welcome back to the Garena Survivors, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the semifinals to day number 4 of the group stage, but it is only the first day of performance for Group B. My name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio down here with the one and only Neptune, the gentleman Garcia, the best analyst that we have in the BR scene, bringing you all of the action from the day. And so far, it looks like the Vagabonds Nomads have managed to remain supreme up top on the leaderboard, just like how the Four Kings have managed to go out there and just maintain their pressure in a couple of those rounds, bag a lot of kills, bag a lot of points. And then, when they do falter just a little bit, they do have those points already sandbagging them. So they don't really have to worry about much. And that's the exact same situation that the Vagabonds Nomads are in right now. But even that being the case, they don't seem to be slowing down, Neptune.
Yeah, in contrast to the Four Kings who are dominating the previous semifinals, this time, regardless of whether it's isolated or blackout, they are in there getting a lot of kills. They have a lot more on TPP compared to FPP, and that is another contrast against the Four Kings. But looking at the scores right now, they have a huge lead against anyone next to them. Thus, they can chill with the FPP mode because as we've seen so far, a lot of teams have slowed down at that moment.
Yes, and this is what we were asking the Four Kings to watch out for, and hopefully it will be one of the points that they do cover at the grand finals later on. 3 days of finals, guys. We'll have just, non-stop back-to-back battles ready for all of you. but it is the placement points that the Four Kings need to catch up on. Because if they do not, then teams like Vagabonds Nomads will very quickly take over the position. Like you have just pointed out, Neptune, when it comes to those skills and when it comes to those placement points as well, Vagabonds Nomad seems to be doing absolutely solid, truly setting themselves apart from all of the other teams. 61 points more than the team in the second spot, Vagabonds Esports. But either way, it is the Vagabonds brand that dominates semifinals two for the Garena Survivors.
And speaking of dominating, we have TNC Supremo who just moved up into number 3 right now with the performance that we've seen from them from a previous match, tying up the scores against Almighty Prime. This time it's a placement point that come into play, thus they are on top right there. But I think if this continue on for Supremo, if they will be able to maintain how well they support each other in there on battlefield, they will be able to move up a little bit higher, probably going against toe to toe against Vagabonds Esports on the leaderboard. Right next to Almighty Prime is SDPH, where we've seen not that much of performance, but every time they go in against a team, they give out a lot of engagement as well as smart moves to be able to at least get a few more points for their side, but they
Yeah.
need to focus more on the placement to be able to secure themselves up in the
Yeah.
leaderboards slowly as they end this day as well as the other days of the semifinals.
Absolutely, man. NRX 420 sitting down in the sixth spot there, not doing great at all, especially with the engagement that we saw out there on the battlefield. A lot of, I guess, strategies that NRX 420 has chosen to go with has fallen flat, unfortunately, and a couple of misplays out there as well. It's not going to matter too much at the semifinals, too, as long as you can secure the top 8 before you move on to the finals. If you move on to the finals, that is, you are going to be in a lot of trouble if you continue such plays, Neptune, because, the other teams will most definitely take advantage. As a matter of fact, even the teams within semifinals too already are taking advantage of the fact that NRX 420 isn't hitting as hard as they expected them to. Cerulean Legion, on the other hand, they have brought in a lot of surprising plays, and they sit
Mhm.
right behind NRX 420 with 27 points. Easy Reborn, Esports Magna, the team that has a lot of promise alongside HE Phoenix. Both of them will sit in the 8th and 9th spot, not too far away from each other with 21 and 19 points apiece.
Yeah, for Easy Reborn, they have a great strides that they went into to be able to get the point that they have. But Cerulean Legion, I would say, from 13 to be able to step into fourth from previously, and then
Yep.
and right now being pushed down to six. Still, a lot of improvement needs to be made, but they are doing it in the right way. But let's see
Yep.
as we go into the second half. We have HE Phoenix right now. And Helixus Vicious tied up with the Royal Kings. Kicks PH in there, moving up from the bottom. NRX 432 needs to put it up a little bit as they are tied with 3 more members. And another team, this is TNC Emperors that needs to move up as well on the kills as well as a placement. But as we go
Yeah.
back into isolated, we are back on TPPAJ, and this
Mhm.
is where we started the game.
Yep, and Nuketown is going to be attacked immediately by 2 squads in here. As you guys can see, HE Phoenix alongside the one and only TNC Empress now going to be lighting up Nuketown shortly. The players of NRX 420, on the other hand, as usual, straight into downtown, and we will spot the players of SDTH Generals making a quick beeline for Black Market, where they can secure a chopper for themselves as well as the mighty ability to reposition at a moment's notice. Something that I did not notice here was the third team, which is the Royal Kings, sitting down inside of the exact same spot in here as they took a hot drop against TNC alongside the other team that we did spot out earlier on, HE.
Yeah, I think it's a chopper that really pulled in this teams because a lot of the places from the north has already been occupied, and a chance to get in the chopper to get away and get good positions later on will be that's keeping them here. But as we look at, we have TNC Emperors who's backing off on this fight. They don't want to risk it that much, and Angin will be taken down. Sukra in there getting in for the kill and elimination, as well as the chopper will be left out in there in the dust, and both teams will not be able to use it later on. So all they have to do right now is play this out and battle it against team versus team versus team.
Three teams out there. Let's see what they can pull off. Claudie flanking from the left-hand side. He knows the dog tag on the ground will be a point where the Royals or whoever it is on the other side to come in there for the retrieval. And that's not going to be a great play as Claudie gets caught out by Assassin. He strikes. This is a three-way battle. And Royal Del Cutie now. Sakre, can he be taken down? Yes, he will be. That RPD just has way too many bullets to sustain a gunfight. And Sakre will pull out the shorter end of the stick in that engagement. Gerard, on the other hand, a quick pop of his smoke bomb just to reposition. And as he does, the rest of the players on the side of TNC will continue to move on through for that engagement. Hagen has been scanned and he is brought right back through, whereas Royal Omega holds on to the roof on the hunt for Merc now. If he catches him off, potentially this might be a good play, but Merc now trying to make him pause in his stride towards him, gets caught off either way as Shabe drops by, and this is the appearance of Cerulean Legion, the fourth team in the mix to take away all of those kills now, Neptune.
This map is getting insane, AJ. I mean, it has been pulled in a lot of teams, especially Cerulean Legion, who will be joining in and vulturing for the battle. It has been poured between the three teams who already stepped in. Now, Sinitsi right now is just getting information with Chopper gameplay, and I think there's a Frosh right now in there being gunned down. Flappy going in for that kill, and looking at the map, I think it is Merc who is very, very far away, being chased right now, as the rest of the teams in Cerulean is getting all this loot that they need. Now let's see how well Cerulean will be able to put that into play, and will they be able to get back into the safe zone. So far 3 kills already, and all they have to do is just fly in there and wait for the next battle to happen.
Yeah, great plays coming through from Cerulean Legion as they make a quick pit stop to pick up a couple of kills and then back away. But now, right in front of the one and only Easy Reborn Esports Magna stands the players of KPH Wicked. They have got that higher ground. They've got the advantage in here, but they very slowly back away and they give away that position potentially to the players of Easy Reborn. Hopefully that's not a mistake that they make. As one by one those players back away, they might just be leading the players of Easy Reborn into a trap that they've set up out there. But one dog tag out there on the ground is going to be the main point of contention for KPH Wicked as they need to save their brother before time runs out here. 50 seconds to the next revive fight. If they can get this scan, they can continue their aggressive push forward.
We'll have to see as to how the rotation of Circle of Sidon will work at this point. I think they are just hunting for enemy, and they might be seeing TNC Supremo right here, who has been spread out in the open. But Biscuit, question of move in there using that rewind. But we'll see how will they be able to go in and box out this team of TNC. Here comes the slide, but Sean right now
Sean
with that smoke, missing that a chance for the kill. That is his smoke, but he is the one who has been duped into that play. Biscuit right now will be backstabbed, but will be taken out as well by Sean, but Sean will be taken out by Wagner from the side.
Oh, great plays coming through from all of the teams out in here. And Sigra Poseidon very quickly trades out Sean. Biscuit down on the ground, but that's not going to matter as the dog tag is picked up by Wagner for the quick scan, whereas Niana gets spotted out. Tasan for the pressure. The 2 more players on the side of TNC alive and kicking to bring those dog tags right back into play. Pierre holding a line behind this building as Tasan moves on in to catch him. Is he going to be able to get up top and pressure him? Oh, misses that jump. And Tasan now right down below. It's not going to be able to spot anyone, and Pierre remains safe for the time being, Neptune.
Yeah, and that is what we're talking about, the TNCs right now. And they have a good chance to be able to go for the fight if they are together. With the movement as they go beside them and they're breaking them apart, that's when they fall as well. But this time, we have Almighty right now still together going against NRX 432 with one Davscali on the other side from KixPH. So this will not be a surprise that KixPH will be targeted first by NRX 432, but they need to have their backs protected because Almighty will be flanking him from below. But I think Almighty is moving away from this battle because they don't want to be caught off guard with the third-party battle.
Yep, Swala and Dad both drop, but Dad still has a chance in here, and he gets picked right back up. Joe with the save, and they only need to scan Swala right back through. But Clyde now gets dropped. Easy R for the slay. AK-47 to the back, and Joe gets caught out by So High as well. Easy reborn. We hyped them up earlier on, and they are living up to that hype right now as they shut down player after player from the side of NRX 432. That's still surviving, but it does not look like that'll be the aim for Easy Reborn. They still want to conquer this top hill, and they want to make sure they guard those dog tags. But very quickly now, the players of AMT Prime approaching their compound, and they will back away. They do not want to engage with a full squad, especially out in the open here. Traps being laid out by Jaeger, as you can see, as they move on forth to find a compound inside a crash.
I would say this is a tactical retreat right now, because if they didn't, it was Backbone Nomad who will be jumping in against them, and the Almighty Prime will be in here for a play as Travis goes in for the kill against the JP, and still not stopping for Backbone's Nomads. Swish right now together with Travis will be pinching Dre, and Dre will be taken down as well. Still no one taken from Backbone's Nomads, and the rotations that we're seeing up and down into this hill is still flawless for this team, as everyone surrounding them who's trying to go against them will be stopped in a standstill right now, and they don't want to go and push Nomads just yet.
Yeah, even Vagabonds Esports is thinking twice before pushing Nomads, man. They're like, oh my goodness, the crazy monsters are out here again. Let's just stay out of this battle. We are not going to go out there and take any kills just yet, because very quickly, you know exactly how Vagabonds Nomads can turn the situation around. And Gerard now managing to catch off Assassin. We did see a shutdown. Took prey from afar as well. Gets taken out by Claudie. It's going to be Ezra positions himself. Vagabonds Esports from afar. Luke is still alive and kicking. All 4 team members of Vagabonds Esports still alive, and Luki with the right-hand flank can recover the situation if at all the players of Vagabonds Esports get attacked, and that's one of the formations that I really love out of the Vagabonds squad. But of course, NRX 432, as that backs away from the situation, Vagabonds Nomads will not be able to continue feasting on all of them, but my oh my, managing to catch off that from such a far angle as well, managing to pressure him to continue moving on into crash. He finds a spot for himself, but STPH also find the players of Sigrum side.
Yeah, speaking of pressure for side of 432, I mean, it's only that remaining in the pressure of getting those dog tags quickly. But as we go in SDPH, they're going against Decided, who has already taken house in this area earlier on. But there goes Wagner trying to get away from the shots of Bree, and Mr. Bree right now will be also going in for the chase, but moving up and down in this hill for the safe zone, as cover might be the chance for Wagner to survive and recover those HP, thus luring this team of SDPH to a halt. But we'll see how well will Wagner get away from all 4 members of SDPH trying to gun them down. 2 members of SDPH trying to gun them down, but will he come back to bus station to be cut off? I don't think so. He will be going far away from the side.
Alpha Ape Komori loses his life to Savage. Vagabonds Nomads will continue on the hunt. But NRX 420, on the other hand, has been very silent all throughout this lobby, all throughout this match. They are moving in for the silent move to be the deadly killers of the lobby. Are they going to be able to pull that off or finish this round with no kills whatsoever? Kintaro backs away. Smoke bomb right after it's popped out. Boji from afar. Virus as well as Swish get dropped. And it's the Alpha Apes that now take the fight to the players of Vagabonds Nomads. Asir shut down as well as Boji gets his revenge. He takes Asir out of the equation. That drops Burn as Phoenix continues engaging with NRX 432. But it is the fight between Vagabonds Nomads as well as the Alpha Apes that we are concerned with. And NRX 420 just sticking their noses where it truly belongs to third party the situation.
And there's a good motivation for NRX 420 right now, seeing that the Vagabonds Nomads are boiling down one at a time. There goes Travis being taken down by Kape, and 2 kills already to their name. And all they have to do is double back and take down those teams from Team P, that is KPH, as well as Royal Kings, who is battling it down at the lower part of this area. But Cerulean right now is also in the fight against Vagabonds Esports, trying to get away from this pitch, but Nash in there from the side with that Fennec, and Flappy will not be Flappy anymore. He will be all flat. he will be down and out and about as Vagabonds Esports just squish them there.
Yeah, NRX 420 managed to snuff out the final player of Vagabonds Nomads, but can they do the exact same to Vagabonds Esports as well? As this is still a full squad running around. Nash, Luki, Yato, as well as the one and only Blue. Vagabonds Esports 2 kills so far. They haven't really aggressed just yet in this lobby, but the slow and steady approach, just like NRX 420 were taking earlier on, is the strategy from Vagabonds Esports. Cape keeping a close line together with Kintaro. They are on the hunt for a couple of apes. Sige has been caught out here and they are on the chase. If Sige manages to get away, that's going to be a GG, but it doesn't seem to be the case as Cape keeps a very close proximity to Sige as he tries to reposition. One mistake from Sige might just be the end here on that snowboard, off the snowboard from the side of Cape. And very timely manner shuts down Sige as he flies through over the wall.
Just know the angle in there to get that hit, the position to be able to gun them down. Kintaro in there was for the backup, as we expect for the teams who are going in aggressive into this point. But we'll have to see if the KPH will be able to aggressing NRX 420 because they have the higher ground. They have the opportunity for the kill as well as Cape going in for the rush. But the support of the rest of NRX 420 will be in there as well. So KPH need to be on their toes. We have grenades after grenades, smoke after smoke, just to cover the approach that is being done. There goes Big B, Big and Burn as Lucky goes in for the kill. That Scally will be in down as well.
But here's the thing, Neptune, as both of these teams do battle, NRX 420 is just behind. They are looking at the kill feed. They know exactly who's engaging, and Bochi takes advantage. Nash gets knocked onto the ground, and it's going to be NRX 420 with the supreme third party to pull away the best in this engagement. But the Vagabonds Esports squad, they know what's happening, and they are out of there. Amazing decision being made by the Vagabonds team.
Amazing gameplay for NRX 420. This is a time wherein this is the moment that we have been waiting for from the first round. Earlier, they have flopped so much into the games, but this time, I think they've been able to redeem their throne, their name as the old kings, the kings of old of a Battle Royale scene is slowly moving up. Still 4-man strong. No, not that much on the kills, but how they progress for each battle that they go into, surviving every time. This is more potential for this team to be able to move up slowly onto the leaderboard.
It is going to be Sinitsky from afar, and he takes one assassin down. Great play so far, but as NRX 420 find a better position for themselves, the players from the side of the H just behind them, Alpha 8 do not take advantage. NRX 420 gets away full squad. SDPH right in front of them, and they want to re-engage as quickly as possible. SDPH now needs to watch out as Boji catches out Bree. The shot's not taken just yet. Just below this hill, one more player. NRX 432 falls in the crosshairs of Boji. He's just picking a fight with whoever he finds out there. But Boji, one mistake, Manon in front, and Boji gets the first one. Boji gets the second one. Boji on fire out there, Neptune.
The Wonder Kid is here. He is on fire. No slowing him down and still on the roll to go in for the rush. And you're correct, AJ. No matter where he turns, the moment he sees one, he shoots one. And at that time, that is on to the point of NRX 420. NRX 432 right now, that is just hacking everyone else. But going back to NRX 420, Boji is in there already with 5 kills to his lane. More to come as a lot is trying to contest this area for them. And CJ Rod will be digging now, right now, and Kai as well. And Boji with 7 already, AJ.
This kid is on fire, but Zeus now on the ground. They need a full squad if they want to grab this victory. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the comeback from NRX 420 might just be solid. And NRX 432 in their crosshairs as well. Right behind them will be the one and only SDPH generals who quickly ran away from that engagement because they did not want to have anything to do with NRX 420. And because of that move, they will survive. But NRX 432, they are in trouble. And here comes the powerhouse of NRX 420, the one and only Wonder Kid Boji. Sinitsky right in front, and nobody's going to be safe from the one and only Boji. Right outside of the safe zone, they will head on out to go and continue their hunt. Clyde gets caught out. It's going to be Kape for the slay. Kintaro finds that as well. It is just an amazing play back-to-back as NRX 420 bagged their 13th kill.
13 kills already, and they are still in roll. We still have 27 soldiers alive and 10 teams right now to be slayed, if in case they'll be able to continue on with what they're doing right now. And on the other side, we have Vagabonds in here still on the hunt, still to gather a lot of points compared similar to what NRX 420 is doing. But I think Nash is having some issues right now and is being protected by the rest of Vagabond Esports.
Oh, Yato, he manages to pull off a couple of shots. No one's gonna take Nash away just yet. Boji with those wild shots, not finding anyone but being very careful with the approach. The rest of the players up top, they give that information right back. But Vagabonds Esports, because of the disconnection out of Nash, they are not going to be able to very aggressively respond. Luki gets taken out of the equation. Blue continuously pressures the players of SDPH up top, and the zone will do the rest of the work. Boji finds Nash. Vagabond Esports finally drops the player that was lagging out there, and SDPH in between them as well as Vagabond Esports. Yato does not want anything to do with the players of NRX 420 as they continue raging on. SDPH will be the next target, but NRX, they continue looking one after the other, and the players get caught out. Yato now taken out by the Wonder Kid Boji. NRX 420, where were they hiding all of this supreme place earlier on, Neptune?
Yeah, they are putting it and pulling it out from the bag where they kept it earlier on. But I guess it's not too late for them. We still have a lot more to see from this team. NRX 420 right now is in a roll as they are going to target Easy Reborn. Boji right now getting in for that hit against Jaeger. And Jaeger being gunned down, but Zeus will be finishing them off with that Odin. And Dastin is the only one remaining in here at the bottom. Will try to get away in that tunnel, but with that kill already onto the side of NRX 420, they have a lot of visibility from the rest of the teams who are surrounding them. We still have KPH, we still have Royal Kings in there, and the cross sides, or can be on the cross sides of NRX 420, and with the 16 kills that already have, a lot more will be coming as Boji takes in Sphinx of Easy Reborn.
NRX 420, the last time we checked in on them, they were sitting down in the 6th spot, but clearly they are looking for more. They are looking for everything out there on the battlefield. 17 kills in here so far, and KPH might just be the next victim. Kintaro drops Cali, but I believe the guy is now going to be attacked from the back, but Kintaro still continuously survives the battle, and 1 HP left. Kintaro manages to get inside of the safe zone, and he will recover ever so slowly, and at the very same time protects Zeus as well. He goes ahead to pop that smoke. Kape shuts down Hangin in the meantime, and NRX 420, they are going to remain in with a 3-player attack as long as they manage to pick their team member right back up. They've already dropped one. The Mighty Apes, on the other hand, with only Sige left surviving in here, has nowhere to go, Neptune.
Literally nowhere to go. He is stuck in the corner right now. If he gets out, he will be taken by the zone. Plus, the footsteps will be heard either side. So I think it's just a waiting game. It is just a waiting game. It's just time. We just need to wait to announce the winner of this round. It is a 1v3 situation. If NRX 420 will like to get aggressive, they can try to do so, but this time all they have to do is just go around. They can do some emotes, and they're not doing it against anyone because it's just them on that top hill.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And of course, Sige's gonna get taken down by the zone. That's a GGWP. The guy can't do much out there at all, but he tries to run out and save himself. I don't know why. And NRX 420 take that win. Amazing stuff as they make their comeback. I am quite curious as to why Peanut is not playing. I did expect him to join the fray of NRX 420 as well. It just doesn't seem to be the case this time around. NRX 420 with the comeback, but just in this one round, we need consistency out of the team that we have not seen in all of those previous matches. 4 matches they have let out of their hands, but in the 5th game, they make quite a solid comeback. But how far will it push them up? Because they've just been on a slow climb here, Neptune. They started things off and they were sitting down in, I believe, the 12th spot, and very slowly they improve into the 8th spot, into the 4th spot. But in the previous round, we saw them fall just a little bit. They got pushed down to the 6th position. But with this victory, right back up, they will make their way, buddy.
Yeah, they'll be able to make their way up and just a little bit too close from those in the top. And as we can see, Boji right now just popped off with 11 kills to his name. 6 from Kape right there. Zeus with 2, Intaro with 2. That makes it a total of 21 kills. And plus the 10 points on the placement, they will be getting 31. Will be
Wow.
bringing them up high onto that leaderboard,
Wow.
adding up to the total of 29 that they had previously. So I think that is 40 points to them already, if I'm not mistaken, if my math is correct, AJ.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid play coming through from the players of NRX 420, man. That was a little unexpected for sure. Earlier on with the 29 points, like you mentioned already, they make quite the climb up the leaderboards. I believe they should be in the second or third place overall.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, of course, the Alpha Apes that pick up the second spot right there behind them. So much of a better positioning this time round. But Sij just could not grab that final kill. And lucky for him, he positioned himself right inside the tunnels because NRX 420 couldn't grab that kill away from him as well. And nobody could find the ape. And the Royals, who were hanging up top together with NRX 420, found the ends of those crosshairs either way. A total of 9 kills they still managed to bag out before they got taken down. Phoenix, on the other hand, with a total of 4 kills in that 4th position. SDPH with the 5th place alongside 6 kills altogether. And KPH sitting down in that 6th spot with a total of 7 kills. That's not too bad if you ask me, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean they are on a way slowly to get back on the leaderboards. As we can see, Easy Reborn, the gameplay that they've done, and I think the Easy Reborn gameplay right now is an attempt to go aggressive,
Yeah.
but thus they have been taken down in there on the 7th spot with 4 kills to their name, and I think they need to work that out a little bit more. But surprisingly, we have Vagabonds Esports in there following them on that 8th spot, and it is the push, the rotation of NRX 420 that caught everyone off guard. The same as we can say for the side of Vagabonds Esports, NRX 432, and everyone who just went against them. We've felt already how NRX 420 wants to get the points, and they are showing us right now. I don't know what motivation they got,
Yeah.
but it's a good thing that they have it right now. And will they be able to make it roll? Because by the next game, it will be FPP and it is on blackout.
Oh, yeah. And, they have to step it up, man. They have to show us that the NRX 420 brand has got the consistency that everybody's looking out for. A lot of trash talking has been going back and forth. And like I said, the talk has been talked. The walk now needs to be walked. It's NRX 420 walking a little bit of the talk in this round, as not only do they find that #1 spot, but a massive amount of kills to their side as well. And this was that initial chase here by Sij, and he did get taken out of the equation, man. And it was in the hands of NRX 420 as well. But of course, he got revived, brought right back into the play, only to be the final surviving member of the Alpha Apes. So good on him and good on the Alpha Apes to continuously play those positioning points, where the placement points, where we know, because those engagements aren't really their strongest suit, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, and they need to work on the engagement. And they need to work on the focus on how to battle it on, especially on teams that are already aggressive, as well as those teams who are still getting the hang of the aggressiveness. And NRX 420 right now is being too aggressive to everyone's liking, everyone else's liking, because no matter where they turn, they get one, they see one, they shoot them down. And it's just lucky enough for Ape, and still Ape is in here. He didn't run away to deny them of the points. He was just stuck in here, nowhere to go. The question is, why did he try to get away from that safe zone when he could have tried it earlier to be able to get a better chance? But I think it's just a simple attempt just to say that he's not giving up that easily.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And, I'm quite confused with the approach to run out of the circle when it started closing finally, because if he wanted to survive, he should have started running now before the circle started closing, because the damage would have been slightly lesser. He could have potentially gotten out and tried to recover himself and maybe, sneak 1 or 2 kills. But that wasn't, the situation or the play that he was going for. And finally, when the circle started coming towards him, he was like, oh my goodness, I need to move. The brother found out the hard way as it was just a little too late. But he did pick up a snowboard, though. Like I said, he should have done that a little bit earlier, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, well, for the teams who are in here who has been just popping up, hopefully by the next day that we see them, they do it earlier. We cannot express that much. We cannot express the point that much that the earlier you do the adjustment that you need to do, the more progress you'll be able to do.
Yeah.
And we've seen how some of the teams from the first semifinals has been hindered with that delay. So it's a good thing 420 are now moving up onto the board as their performance right now are showing up. They still have one more to show up for this day. And I would say they're in a good position already to lay back and say that we've already came up from the dust and will be rising up onto that leaderboard.
Absolutely, man. But for all of you, thank you so much for the views that you're bringing into the broadcast. Thank you so much for the likes as well as shares. Don't forget to hit that like if you haven't just yet. And please make sure you share this broadcast out and continue to bring in more of our friends to enjoy the broadcast, because what you get in return is the rare wish grade. Appreciation from the side of Garena, because you guys have been doing a lot in the comment section. Keep on bringing that fire in the comments as well. And I have to thank you guys, because the toxicity level has most definitely gone down drastically, and we do appreciate you for that, guys. Thank you very much. Spread love, not hate, in the comment section.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of if you're supporting your team that much, a representation of your comment will reflect the team as well. Similar to what we have already talked about in terms of the team itself who are playing or representing the teams who are in semifinals.
Yeah.
But to that note, a lot has been said, a lot has been done by the teams right here. We are about to jump into round number 6 later on, but we have to go for a quick break. So don't go away. We'll see you in a bit. Welcome back to Garena Survivors semifinals, day number 4, brought to you by Call of Duty Mobile. At your service at the caster's desk, I am Neptune the General Garcia, together with the boys of Garena Call of Duty Mobile, Mustachio AJ, bringing you the action straight up to your screen. We have seen the rise of NRX 420 from the ashes that they have been put in from the first round up until the 5th round, and we'll have to see how well will they be able to go in onto the next round. But so far, it is dominance of the Vagabonds Nomad that has been highlighted so far in this whole day, and how much more can they exceed the expectation that has been set for this day, as well as how well will they be able to overtake the throne against their brothers, the Vagabonds Esports.
Absolutely, man. And so far, the consistency out of Vagabonds Nomads has been not only with the kills, but also with their placement points. And this is the key point that we were talking about whenever we did discuss Four Kings, because they only could show us that they were supreme when it came to those engagement, the kills. I mean, obviously, that's going to be very, very helpful on the battlefield. But when you come across a team that is going to be able to put out both the kills as well as the placement points, that's exactly when the approach of Four Kings might become an issue. But speaking about issues, NRX 420 had a couple of issues as well, catching up with their old style of play. And finally, we could see a little bit of the aggression. But has that aggression managed to get them the podium spot right now in the top 3? I believe it could have. But let's take a look at the leaderboards to see if or not that is the case. And yes, it will be in the second spot, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But they fail in comparison still against the Vagabonds Nomads, who are almost double their points up there at that number 1 spot, Neptune.
Yeah, and I think that is a good stride for Vagabonds Nomads to be able to get as much points as possible. Because when the moment that Vagabonds Esports as well as NRX 420 pops off, and that is what's showing right now for the side of NRX 420, it will be very difficult for them to catch on. But if the same goes with the other teams who have been improving so far all throughout the day, and if it happens round after round for the whole 3 days, that will be going into semifinals, a lot more needs to be done by Vagabonds Nomads to be able to maintain their top spot. But looking at their number 3, Vagabonds Esports has been pushed down, and it's the matter of waiting. That will need to see if how the consistency will work for Vagabonds Esports. It's also a case, AJ, that you pointed out that they don't have to put out everything in their gameplay so that it will not be read moving forward, the same as how we are reading all the data from these games that we've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, teams like NRX 420 as well as Vagabond Nomads, they have got something to prove out there. Therefore, they go out and they try their very, very best each and every single round. Vagabonds Esports, on the other hand, there's nothing to prove. They are the king of kings of Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale, and they just need to make it through to the grand finals to show exactly why they earned the title for themselves. SDPH Generals, on the other hand, impressive effort to grab that 4th position for themselves, followed by TNC Supremo, which is a little bit of a surprise considering we did expect AMT Prime to do much better than TNC Supremo. But that doesn't really matter because the brothers of old will stick by each other just 1 point apart. Cerulean Legion continues their impressive play in the competition, holding on to the top 8 in that 7th position. They have 36 points, followed by the Royal Kings in the 8th spot with 31 points. And although HE Phoenix have been pretty solid in terms of approach, in terms of all of their strategies that we've seen out there on the battlefield, they still have not been able to break in clean into the top 8 just yet. With 27 points, they still stay there. But as you can see, anything can happen with each and every single round in the competition here, Neptune.
Yeah, definitely. And Easy Reborn right now, we've seen how impressive the tactics that they can go to get to the top spot. But when they go aggressive, it pulls them down. And slowly, they are going down leaderboards. Hopefully, they'll be able to take back the approach of tactics and rotations before going in for the kills. But as we start the next game, this is the last game for today, wherein they will be jumping in on the blackout map. And this is FPP. And we all seen already how slow the game will be, how everyone has been slowed down by the FPP mode. So who will be exploiting that? We have yet to see them.
everybody except Vagabonds Nomads though, Neptune, because they have been the raging aggressors in the FPV mode so far, bagging the most number of kills. They've got 30 to their name, isn't that right, my friend?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, they already have the 30 kills on FPV mode. Consistency really is inside of Vagabonds and Nomads. And I think I saw a familiar approach as well in there on the northern side of the map. So those familiarity of the approach, if it will be read by the teams, especially the same as with Vagabond Nomads, if they will be read on the rotations they can be done, it might have lessened their chance to go in for the hit. But we'll see how well will they be able to do that. But this time, it started off with Cerulean going against KixPH or KPH right now, and Sinitsi as starting it off, going in for this push against two members of Cerulean Legion.
Yes, Cerulean Legion now catching off the players from KPH. Both of them outside, out in the open. Sinitski, one more shot can come through, and yes, he bags both of them clean. Amazing plays with the Hades in hand. Sinitski strikes.
Sinitsi in there going solo against three members, and one member of KPH Wicked will be moving away. It might take time for him to get back here to get those dog tags if Cerulean will let them. But as the approach may be, here comes the split to be able to get as much loot as possible as they traverse the path wherein the KPH might be going. And they need to be careful because with the gunshots that have been heard already, that has been given to this play, a lot of teams might be targeting them with the snipes as this is blackout. It is a huge map wherein the sniper can be utilized that much. So we'll have to see how well will they be able to avoid that as well as utilize it to their favor.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Of course, if they can utilize that in their favor, then managing to pull up ahead would be too much of an issue. But that's the problem here. Are they going to be able to execute that in the perfect position as well? And they can see the run straight into the car. Great movements coming through from these two players, and the drive-by setup might just come through from the players of PNC as now they continue looting up for themselves. The Emperors will continue to stick together. The last time they broke apart, they didn't really like exactly what happened right after Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, Emperors really need to move up because so far they are the bottom of the list. They need to make their play right now. If they have anything hidden, they need to put it right now, whether it's a placement point, whether it's a kill point, but hopefully they focus more on the placement because that is where they will be able to slowly move up the leaderboard. I'm not saying that getting a good placement is easier, but if they are careful enough and not to making all those risky play, they will be able to bag a lot of a placement point to their name, and all throughout the round they can get a few kills but pull away just in a moment, not to be gunned down.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. And you gotta love the fact that the snowboard is just right back through with the mobility out there in the Battle Royale field. It just really got to a point where I got depressed, man. When the snowboard got nerfed, Mustachio just really felt discouraged to play Battle Royales. But right now with it back in, because it makes such a huge difference in terms of mobility out there in the battlefield, right? Instead of just depending on the vehicles, which can get a little clunky on the battlefield, the snowboard, on the other hand, just really changes the way you move out there on that field.
Yeah, and as we see right now, the move coming in from Vagabonds Esports right now, in a team that we have been pointing out already, the Emperors, who really needs to move it up. Well, how will they survive? The Vagabonds Esports right now, they will be going in there with the smokes gameplay to get away. But one of the members right now from Vagabonds Esports is taking a look at their position. Blue right now is giving out the information as the rest of the team are gunning them down. Loki right now is in there making those hits. And here comes the push with a vehicle. Here comes Nash right now going for the turnaround. And one has been taken out already. Fade will be faded down. And will be taken out by Kai as well on the other side.
Oh, Yato now in trouble. Kai is still alive, but we did happen to see the impressive rewind class play coming through from the one and only Yato, I believe, earlier on. It is, sorry, Nash. It is going to be Yato now moving on ever so slowly. TNC. Claudia catches the back of Luki, and the Empress really taking the fight up against Vagabonds Esports as he gets a scan through as well. There is going to be a third party that drops by to say hello. Elixir's Vicious, and although they are not the most vicious team in this lobby, they can most definitely feast on whatever that's available out there. thinned in the numbers. TNC Empress, they quickly try to reposition, but the Vagabonds Esports squad, they still do have 2 players from afar who can make a difference here if the players of Helixus Vicious do not take the best advantage in this position. As you can see, Claudius, he repositions, just continuously turning around to see if he can catch out any one of those players from the side of Vagabonds Esports to come in for the chase, but that's not going to be the situation. 2 dog tags on the ground. Vagabonds need to work.
Yeah, they need to work right now. Fate is coming back from the revive flight, and 2 is still on the ground. Now, it's more of the information gameplay that need to work on right now, but Elixus will be meeting up NRX 432 on the other hand. They will be taking this hill and moving in down. Tangoy right now is in there being left behind by Kanin and High Bay. And High Bay right there is in there already in the compound with a backup needed by Tangoy. Now, Clyde, if he moves in from that window, he might be gunned down by 2 members, but Vagabonds is still not out just yet. They will be in here who might be going in for the 3rd party as they regroup and recover all the loots that they lost earlier.
Odin hasn't caught out anyone just yet, but Clyde loses a lot of his armor now as he steps straight into the trap laid out by the players of Elixir, and they do not take advantage of the situation just yet as NRX 420 does have a little bit of backup. NRX 432 on the other hand, not as lucky as Swala gets dropped. Merc will be able to find Dustin as he tries to drive by as well. This position just getting harder and harder by the second as all of the teams find the exact same spot to do battle, Neptune.
I mean, the gunshots really pulled them in, and this time we have Panot right now just gunning down and show how long will you be able to hold your breath out there. And SDPH, the 3 members, oh, the mistake of Bree right now jumping into the water, and there goes Calibay finishing off Joe, and SDPH is still alive and kicking with 2 to their name, but a lot more coming in. Fade right now is in there, but get those dog tags, and Yato on the other side still against Elixir is going in for this chase. Kanin right now will be getting away, but zigzagging all of the way towards Tangoy for backup, and Vagabonds Esports will be left in there scratching their heads because they haven't get as much kills regardless of how many teams jump in on this place.
Yeah, but they are still alive and kicking. That's going to be an important point there. Barnott cannot be taken down. He flies up into the air with that pumped glass, and Yato does not manage to strike him down with the Odin, but they still want to go in here for the push. SDPH now back into a tiny corner. It's either the body of water right outside of the zone they swim through, or they take on the players of Vagabonds Esports head to head. And as they try to avoid the engagement as much as possible, Vagabonds Esports themselves back away from the engagement as they do not want to walk straight into a trap. Clyde 2v1, that is the challenge, but Yato helps Clyde out, and NRX 432 will continue to survive. Clyde does not get spotted out, and he can now take the backstep onto the SDPH players who are repositioning.
Yeah, if he chooses to go for the backstab, we all know SDPH might be turning around on the other side. So all what he needs to do right now is just keep silent. Nash right now is here, just backing off the rewind class, and go Yato right now going for flank against Breezy. Breezy is on the edge, but in 35 seconds, the safe zone will be closing in. So I think it's a gatekeeping being done, being maintained by Vagabonds Esports right now. Kalibe will be shot there, but Panot will be able to take down Loki. Thus, Nash backing off from that fight. Bree in there using the vehicle to advantage. Oh, what's stepping in there? Into that vehicle. Have to see how well, but no, Kalibe taking out Nash into that fight. And Blue is in here, but with Yato needs to survive and needs to get away. And a full vehicle that is in the hands of Bree right now.
Oh yeah, man, and SDPH just doing a lot of work out there on the battlefield. Quick drive-bys will not be what we looked for as the team members were not in the car earlier on, but he just uses the car to roll over all of those other players. NRX 432 Clyde still outside. Blue now going to get caught out, and SDPH has no chill, brother. They are hunting down the Vagabonds Esports players one after the other. Panon this time round jumps right back into the car. Earlier on it was the Vagabonds Esports players hunting down SDPH, but not this time. SDPH, what a great strike right back to show Vagabonds Esports that they are not the prey, they are the predators.
The SDPH right now has been motivated excited as their movement into the leaderboard has been going up and going close back once Esports. And with that performance, I will not question how much more they can put up into the upcoming games, upcoming days that we are going to see them. But Almighty right now is in here, regardless of how much how much pride they have into the name, still have to go in for the battle because so far they have been average throughout this together, the same as the ones who are on the top 8. So a lot more performance coming from them, and if they will be able to manage to take the FPP to their advantage going against some teams above them, they will be rising up in there as Almighty in Battle Royale. But as we look right now, 5 kills to their name already. Still on the roll is Wagner, who is getting away from the clutches of the Almighty. But Almighty is just waiting for the airdrop to secure their position in this play.
Solotov unfortunately gets taken down by a driving, raging Bree from the side of SDPH, and it looks like SDPH do not want to slow down the gears at all. Merc now repositioned, snowboard in hand, but right in front of him will be the players of Cerulean. James might just get caught out first. P gets taken, P knocks down Sinitsky, and Cerulean will be not really happy with that engagement as Assassin continues to go in here for the strike. KPA is right in front of him, but he needs to move a little bit faster here, Neptune. The zone really is catching up with the rest of the players. Merc flies through the air and will be able to bag that kill, but outside of the zone, can he survive? Yes, he does in the nick of time with just 12 HP, but So High catches him with the RPD as he flies in a little bit too late.
So high in there, bringing them so low. KPH still on roll, only 1 kill to their name, but managed to survive everyone who are going against them. Survival is the answer to KPH movement onto the leaderboard, and they are doing it right now, slowly into the placement points. But with HE right here on behind them, they might not be surviving. There goes So High going down already. The smokes will not help them because the target of HE will be So High right here.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. KPA So High now. Needs to recover his armor just a little bit. Hops on outside of the zone just to grab 1 kill. Make that 2 as Burn and Sucre get taken out of the equation. So High brings in his team member right into play. A lot being done out here by this KPH players. Amazing stuff from the side of So High. Picking up all 4 kills so far for the team.
And Ake will be coming back in 33 seconds, and we'll have to move forward to the next safe zone. But so far, as you mentioned, AJ, So High has proven so much for this team, and hopefully we'll be able to see the same with the other members of the team. But going back, 420 right now is in here, battling it against Easy Reborn, and Cafe right now is trying to target Jaeger, as the rest of the team are just moving in for the vehicle gameplay, and the rest of NRX 420 is not really providing that much support with those kills because they need to get the information from the surrounding. We have one team in here from the name of Alexis Vicious who might be the target of the other members of NRX 420. Thus, the focus right there has been split.
What the focus can give them a little bit later on as Easy Reborn, all 4 players inside the vehicle, Sphinx up top. Might be able to catch a couple of players out there with the railgun, but not really the best of position to be holding on to in a lobby like this, because out there at top, you are the first target that everybody else will go in to strike down. 3 kills so far. NRX 420 has not been the team that we have spectated so far, only because there's been a lack of engagement from this side. But they choose to remain on the safer side of the map and avoid all of those open engagements. And I like that approach coming through from NRX 420. Don't need to rage on in blackout so early and catch the players off a little bit later on. But easy up now as they drive by this area. Players hopping out, one up to the other. Dagger is not taken down as Carpe lights him up. Zeus finds Sphinx, and it will not be a great play from Easy Reborn as they all scramble out around. Yes, you need to bring in the cars. Yes, you need to bring in the vehicles to blackout. But unfortunately, this is the risk as well, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, we asked them to go for placement. They didn't get that much kills, but getting that placement, just roaming around in front of everyone else, the aggression is already in there, especially for side of 420. They will be taken down and gunned down. Now, going back to KPH as to how they're surviving, it's still a good play for them. They have already 6 to their name. Aki has been taken down, but Bake right now might be in a pinch because he will be going in against NRX 420 in this mix.
Oh, that smoke, that very well placed smoke, just saved the life of one of the players from the side of NRX 420. Bake has to back away. Does have the armors on him, but has not managed to recover it just yet. Smoke bomb down on the ground. Still not recovering his armor. Finally works towards that, and he is going to be safe for the time being. Chase, on the other hand, spots out Bake from afar. Shots. One more is needed, and he manages to settle that. Drops Bake down onto the ground. No finisher just yet, but he knows that it's not going to take all too long at all. No save is going to come through for him as Bake gets taken out of the equation. Aki out by the zone. So high on the other hand. GB trying to fight both of the players at the very same time, and Carpe manages to get so high from the back. GGWP as NRX 420 strikes from the shadows.
And we have Almighty right now in here who might be battling against NX420. They have not been sighted just yet, but the location has been known already because the gunshots coming from them. Boji is keeping the distance from the rest of the team, and I think everyone else of NX420 will be backing off. They have the lower ground, thus a disadvantage right there, and Almighty will still maintain the high ground, plus the movement with his snowboards right here. But as the safe zone closes in, they need to get to a better position. On the other side, we have NRX 420 who have a good position against Helixus right here.
Yeah, Boji just wasting his time trying to hit the player through the open smoke. Inside of the vehicle now, Boji might be able to take that out of the equation if the players hop on in, but it doesn't look like Hilux will be going in for that. And as the players try to find a little bit of a better position, Helixus Vicious, they will be able to do exactly that. Kape continuously trying to spray them down, finds no one, but Zoro inside of the water. Boji, can he find the finisher? M21 in hand, doesn't scope in just yet because Zoro's deep down under, finally shows his head, and Boji will find the kill for himself.
Good waiting game for side of Boji right now, knowing that in time that a member will be moving up on from that waters. They also have a good position right now not to be backstabbed. Cannon is in here just waiting, but on the other side, Hangin is now in there, I believe, slowly drowning into the water. Tangoy right now will also be jumping in, but Hangin might be the one taking them down. Tangoy takes a quick look to make sure that no one will be in there to gun him down, but still haven't slided. And Hangin has been taken out by Gitaro on the other side as well as Tangoy, and I think Hangin has got Tangoy out in open. Now, going back to NRX 420, they've lost Zeus already, but an opportunity to get for the kill against SDPH.
And Boji continues to strike. M21 right out of the gunsmith, and he will find player after player. 12 kills in the hands of NRX 420 so far, for courtesy of Boji. Straight up for the bike as well. Everybody that comes across this wonder kid gets taken down instantaneously. Almighty Prime right behind the smoke. GB shows himself, and Boji goes in for the strike. One more shot is required, but he doesn't manage to get his crosshair to steady on against GB. But Dre will be his next target, and he manages to take him out of the equation. No save will be coming through just yet if any of those players do try. Boji will be catching them off guard as well. GB quickly with the snowboard repositions, and that's the kind of repositioning we're talking about that the snowboard gives you out there on the battlefield that the vehicles just do not.
And we have NRX 420 right now on the roll. 13 kills already. Almighty was able to reposition, but the distraction will not work because Boji has his eyes on him. GB will be going down, and here comes another hit. But there goes. We have Almighty right now slowly dying and being taken out. We are now left with 3 teams. Kape securing that. Almighty will only have Chase right now. Now, Boji is trying to take shots into the water. Royal Kings Del Beauty is just staying quiet right now, but I think might be seen by Chase. Here comes a backstab against Chase, and a win by NRX 420 once again.
Back-to-back consistency. We talked about it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You can walk the walk if you can do that out there on the battlefield after you have talked the talk. then you most definitely can defend the honor of your team. The clan of NRX was looking at 420 for only one reason. We all know the rivalry that has been stirred up, the supreme rivalry between the Four Kings and NRX 420. The Four Kings have proven themselves inside of semifinals 1, and now is the turn of NRX 420. They could not do it in the first 4 rounds, but in the final 2, they strike, and they strike hard, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, very, very hard. We're in those on the top already in the name of Vagabonds, and Vagabonds Nomads has been taken down early into the game.
Yeah.
Thus, NRX 420 slowly moving up and catching up to the points that they have already invested. And it's a good play indeed for this team. They studied the first 4 matches.
Yes.
Failed, but was able to recover. Given the AJ, it is a switch of map as well as perspective from the last 2 games. We all know right now that these teams have all their eyes on them, on how they push and progress all throughout the round, and a lot more is expected from this team.
Absolutely. A lot is expected from NRX 420. No doubt they were the initial kings that helped build the esports segment for Call of Duty Mobile Battle Royale, and to see them crash out a little bit is expected because not everybody can reign as the Supreme Kings all the time. Vagabonds Esports were the ones who took the title, but the Supreme King of Kings are not performing in the initial stage of the semi-finals, and that's not going to be held against them at all, because once again, all they need to do is qualify through for the grand finals and then prove what they've got at the end of the day. But the hungrier ones will be their brothers Vagabonds Nomads alongside NRX 420, who managed to outshine their initial performance once again. This time round, just between Boji Kape as well as Kintaro, 14 kills, 16 overall, 26 points they pick up in this final round to play catch up with Vagabonds Nomads. And like you said, Vagabonds Nomads, they kind of bombed out a little too early here. So this is the perfect play from NRX 420 to catch up. Almighty Prime, on the other hand, with the supreme plays that have come through this time round, they managed to bag 18 kills for themselves, but unfortunately, in that second spot, they miss out on that precious 4 points that they could have taken. But if you go for the swim in that final circle, you know you are going to get bagged out. And NRX 420 managed to snatch that out. But AMT Prime, this is a solid display of affection as well as aggression from them as well to catch up in the final match of the day, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has been set out when we started the day, when we have read all of the list of participants on this game. We pointed out NRX 420, Almighty, and these is the times wherein we have a fate of the fans out there are being recovered. It is being uplifted right now, especially for the side of Prime, right? Taking the Almighty name, a lot as well from this team, similar to NRX 420, a lot is expected because of the rebranding and how they will be able to represent the Almighty name on the Battle Royale scene. So it's good on them to be able to recover on the final round, and the more they do this on the upcoming days of the semifinals, the more they progress and maintain the position on the top 8, they will be able to put up the Almighty name up high for Battle Royale. But another team that really impressed me is how well Royal Kings right now is slowly recovering on these games. They have ended up on number 3, but compared for those who are just going for the placement, they have a decent amount of kills as well.
Yeah, more than the Royals, I feel like STPH impressed me, brother. 13 kills overall in that 4th spot. This team was on fire. They did not hold back against the Vagabonds Esports squad earlier on. As we saw, it was the Vagabonds that were hunting them down, but STPH quickly turned that situation around. They had the vehicles there. They initially played the defenses by the edge of that hill just beside the river, and then later on staked their comeback shutdown against the Vagabonds players themselves. And Vagabonds, of course, not picking up much for them. And as we scroll down a little bit further, you can see that the scarcity of kills will definitely be there, except for Team 16, KPH Wicked, managing to pull away 6 kills in that 11th spot. NRX 432 in that 15th place. You can see the other teams in here who have picked up solid kills at the bottom. For example, like Phoenix, but only 5 at that 14th spot. They will only be able to pick away those skill points for themselves. But like you said, the team of Vagabonds Nomads, they bombed out early. The question is, how early? Were they the first ones who got taken out, or did I miss them on the list earlier?
I think they are the first one that has been taken out. We'll have to wait and see as it has been being updated from our side. But anyways, for this, it's no placement for them. They only have a one, and yep, they are on number 16. Now, this is one thing that really surprises us because the
Yep.
way they dominated the other rounds in here and then they have been gunned down right now, it's either they have lost their touch on the rotations as well as the approach against the team, or for those who gunned them down have been improving, and round
Yeah.
after round that's what we're asking them to do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And with NRX 432 picking up the 15th spot, there can only be one more team down there at 16. But we scroll right back up. Anggala. Can we go down production? Production, we need to scroll all the way down. I think because we have not spotted out. Yes, there you go.
Yeah,
Vagabonds
no
Nomad
bats.
at the very bottom. Esir with the 1 kill, and he was the first guy that managed to put on a single kill out there. But of course, Vagabonds Nomads bagging out the 16th spot will only receive a single point from this round, which is unfortunate after everything that they've done. But just like the Four Kings, they have solidified their lead in the number 1 spot. And even though they do not perform for this final battle, and literally not perform at all by taking away a single point, they bombed out this round. But they're still not going to be touched at that number 1 position for sure, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean it's most of, as I mentioned earlier, the investment that you have placed in there onto the game on the early games that you've seen, and as well as the anticipation that some of the teams will be able to read your rotations and your movement as well. And let's say a little bit of luck is involved. If you have a bad luck into one game, at least they were able to get a lot of points already earlier on, and then
Yeah.
later on just recover. Later on they will not be pressured really that they will be hanging in there on the top 8 or the bottom of top 8 and trying to catch up. At least they have a good lead already, thus a one round of failure is not that much.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And one round of failure really doesn't affect them at all because of their initial progress in the competition. And that's exactly what you want to make sure the kind of position your team stays in, because you cannot guarantee performance each and every single round. I mean, I think that's clear in terms of a statement made by NRX 420 as they struggled initially. And of course, by Vagabonds Nomads themselves, where they popped off initially and then kind of got subdued towards the end. But either way, although NRX 420 does amazing, they have not managed to dethrone Vagabonds Nomads from that number 1 spot just yet. And regardless of all of that action that is breaking down out there on the battlefield, even if it shows certain teams as the supreme ones within this group, it means absolutely nothing, because today, this was the final match, and all of those other teams, they will be sitting down and they will be doing their homework for sure, Neptune, looking into those drop spots, looking into those rotations, looking at the way the teams set themselves out there on the battlefield. And I'm very sure we will find some solid counterplays tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm hoping. Hoping they will be sitting it down and looking at it, unless they're too confident that they really don't need to. But I mean, as a tip for the teams who are in here who really wants to go in on complete dominance, it's good thing to study your enemy as well to be able to find out how you can counter, as what AJ mentioned, because a lot of teams has been doing that without even sitting down that long because of breaks, AJ. I mean, the breaks that we
Yeah,
have between round is not that much, but the
yeah,
progression of some of the teams are that quick. So for
yeah,
those who are having trouble, a little bit of sit down and studying, reviewing the rotations, all the mistakes that you've done, as well as the mistakes of the opponent that you can exploit, you will be able to at least secure a decent amount of points to be able to move up and cross that number 8 spot. But given that, we have once again NRX Philippians 420 for round number 6, taking this win back to back.
and it is most definitely going to be a great joyous moment for the rest of the NRX fans to celebrate, but don't celebrate too much, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Don't start, don't start getting a little too excited, a little ahead of yourself. This has just been one day of semifinals for Group B. We still have got 2 more days of play for them. But let's take a look at how the leaderboards look at the end of day 1 for Group B, as the Vagabonds Nomads still maintain their #1 spot. The rise to the top has started for NRX 420. They finish off in that second place. 86 points, 2 wins overall to match up with the Vagabonds Nomads, outperforming all of the other teams. But Vagabonds Nomads will still have the numbers of NRX 420 in their little bit, and they have booked a personal session to take them down tomorrow, I'm sure. I cannot wait to see that engagement out there on the battlefield. But if there's something that AMT Prime can say about it and third party these 2 squads, they most definitely will do it. And SDPH, the same way that they've shown us out there that their supreme capability of engaging in gunfights will be able to serve up, because as you can see, the placement points is not where AMT Prime and SDPH excel. It is those skills, and they will be ready for battle tomorrow as well. The points between AMT as well as SDPH just a little too close for comfort, but the same can be said for a lot of these teams out here. The points are scarce, so every single kill they find out there will matter, Neptune.
Yeah, it would matter. But the things that we are still waiting is a pop off of Vagabonds Esports, who have, we have assumed, had been holding back in this game, standing in there in the middle of the first 8 of our scene. And well, we've talked about it. They really don't have to stress it as long as they have a good position on the top 8. Royal Kings, on the other hand, is in there on top number 6, followed by Cerulean Legion and TNC Suprema, who's shown us, these 3 teams have shown us a little bit of improvement round after round for this team, and a lot of follow-up that needs to be done for HE Phoenix, KPH Wicked, who I would say kudos to them to be able to move up from the bottom to number 10. A lot more needs to be done, but they are doing it already slowly. Alexis Vicious in there on number 11, and Easy Reborn Esports Magna in there on number 12 has been pushed down. The drastic approach on changing the tactics is not working from them, so hopefully you keep and studying them, AJ.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And Vagabonds Nomads, we have detected this one weakness from them. I don't know if it is entirely a weakness, because they do perform well in FPP, but where they truly excel is at TPP. I mean, they've bagged 52 kills so far today from TPP alone, and 31 in FPP, which is more of the average score in comparison to the other teams. So they truly excel at these TPP battles, and just in this exact same way we did give that feedback to 4 Kings, they cannot just depend on that one thing. The other teams will soon start to catch up as well on the FPP battle, Nephew.
Yeah, and looking at the map, and the maps doesn't matter for the Bagwoods Nomads.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
those mode, and
Correct.
we've explained already that there will be a slight slowness in there on the on how on when we switch into FPP. But like what we mentioned as the tactics of 4 Kings already, they are exploiting that from the other team. So hopefully, if they can adjust it, tweak it just a little bit to be able to balance it off, whether a GPP or FPP, I'm pretty sure that we'll still see complete dominance for this team, unless the other teams also will be able to do the same by the end of this day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. So much to look forward to, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at the day 2 of semifinals 2, which will be happening tomorrow, same time, same place. You guys have graced us with your presence. Thank you so much for all of the likes. Thank you so much for all of the shares. If you have not shared the stream just yet, support the team that you love. Support the teams that are playing in the competition. Hit that share so that later on your friends can catch the replay if they have been a little bit busy, because obviously, this is happening during the time where a lot of people are traveling back from work. It's not really safe to watch it in their car as they are driving. So, you will at the very least share that out so that they can catch the replay later on, which will be quite fun, Neptune, because this has been one crazy day of back and forth between the teams out there.
Definitely. I mean, the back and forth and the movement from down to up of some of the teams that we haven't seen that much from earlier in game. We've lost that motivation and expectation from them. But when that moment hit, they just break that momentum and
Yeah.
then just go in and move up. But the momentum hasn't changed for Rare Wish Crate because it is still in there. So go ahead and grab it, take the screenshot, and was age as AJ mentioned earlier. Keep sharing the stream every time we go live on the Garena Survivor because we've seen for this day we have hit a milestone, and every
Yeah.
time we hit a milestone, more prizes will be given away, and not just
Yeah.
the Rare Wish Crate that we have right now just below AJ, but a little bit more. So, more of goodness, kindness in the comment section will attract those shares, and like will help as well, and
Yeah.
all the support of the fans out there. We really, really thank you.
Speaking of support, guys, instead of fighting which team is better than the other, we have to make sure Battle Royale becomes the main mode of Call of Duty Mobile before long, man. That should be the real fight. That should be the fight between the community on which mode is better in the game. We have to build the Battle Royale scene little by little together, and we will get it done alongside all of the pro players who are getting the job done out there on the battlefield. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's AJ. I'm the Mustachio down here with the one and only Neptune, the gentleman Garcia, signing off from day number 4 of the groups. We will catch you guys tomorrow.